Welcome back to another episode of Commotion Podcast. This week, we have got Bryan and Donovan from Big Lick Brewing Company in the house. We're going to chat all things craft brewery and the local scene. If you missed last week, Hunter Boland was in the house, former Virginia Tech wrestler and avid outdoorsman. We go down many rabbit holes on that one. Before we get started, shout out to Brad with Sport Around Trophies and Awards. If you need engraving, trophies, custom tumblers made, he is the man to do it. Give him a shout at 540-613-1892 or look him up on social media platforms. Sport Around Trophies and Awards. It is Sport Around Trophies and Awards. Let's do it, man. Take your hats off. It's going to be a good episode. Dude, I've been renovating.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
When my guests show up sporting swag that my wife hates when I say swag and a cooler full of beer, I know it's on. I know it's about to be on. Bryan and Donovan, thank you guys so much. I messed up earlier. I said Bryan for my Sport Around Trophies, dude, Brad, and I had to redo that like 3 times. And by the time what you just saw, I was delirious. I was like, we're going with it.
We're
guys,
both bros.
Thank you so much. Let's start with you, Donovan. So tell me how you know Mr. Bryan.
Bryan is actually my boss. So the best boss. Let's go with that one.
The best boss.
We actually know he was one of the first people I reached out to when I moved in Roanoke because my apartment building shared a job opportunity from his personal page and messaged him, and he wrote me in and got me in down here to Virginia. So
nice. How long have you worked with him?
Since October. So
okay.
It's about
so not
8
too
months, a little over 8 months. Yeah.
Very cool. And Bryan,
Yeah.
the man behind Big Lick.
Yeah.
How did that come about, man?
Oh, gosh. Well, I was a teacher, and we moved to Roanoke about 22 years ago, and my wife's also a teacher.
Okay.
Lady she team taught with at the school, they're still team teachers. I met her husband, who was a home brewer. In the time I had 2 little kids, we didn't really even drink at the time, but he kept bugging me to come to a homebrew club meeting, so I went and kind of got hooked.
Nice. How long ago was that?
That was got to be 16 years ago.
Oh gosh, so that's been
16,
a minute.
17, yeah. So homebrewed, got crazy with it.
Yeah. What was your first homebrew setup? Did you do single?
I did pot. My wife actually, I always say it's her fault. She got me the box kit. So basically had to.
It's downhill from there, man.
Had the bucket and all that. It was a red raspberry ale.
Oh.
Everything went well. Did it on stovetop, boiled, extract.
I was going to say it was extract, right?
Cooled the beer down, put it in the bucket. Put the lid on the bucket, went to put the airlock in the little grommet, and the grommet pushed through, went into the beer. So I didn't know what to do. So I took the lid off, put my arm in a bucket full of sanitizer for a couple minutes, and then just reached down in the and found that little grommet, pulled it out, put it back on, put the air.
That's funny, dude.
And actually entered it in a competition and took 3rd place.
There you go.
First beer I've ever made.
You should have called it like arm hair.
Exactly.
We called it the arm beer. Yeah.
That's funny, man. So when did you take the next step? It was like I brew, and it was like the next step for me. As soon as I did that in the kitchen, me and my neighbor got together. Big Timmy, shout out Big Timmy. We did, I think it was a black porter that I aged on chips.
Yeah.
It was like 2 gallons, maybe. It wasn't a lot, but it turned out ridiculous. And we actually, Scott was here Shout out to Scott Rockefeller. He was here, and we cracked open the very last brew, or the very first brew that I bottled.
Oh, wow.
And it had set for 10 years, 9 years.
Oh, I bet that was good.
You talk about it. The alcohol level went up.
Yep.
And it was smooth. It was ridiculous. I was like, well, if I had 10 years, I would have an award-winning beer on my hands here.
Yeah, who's got that kind of time?
I know, man. So what did you do after that first batch? Where did that take you?
I did a few more batches that way, and then actually I had a neighbor who was the president of the Brewers Guild, and we'd go to his house, and he had a brew sculpture from More Beer.
Oh.
So basically,
Yeah.
triangle with 3 stainless steel pots on it, and
Nice.
pumps and all that, and flames.
Yep.
So I kept hinting around to my wife, and finally she said, "Oh, just do it." So
Yeah.
so I got that, brewed outside in the driveway for a while.
Turnkey.
And that's when everything got really good.
Yeah.
We didn't even drink a lot. We'd have people over, and everybody be like, "You ought to be selling this stuff." And I'm like, So eventually I got tired of being outside. We had like a wind tunnel, and so sold it to some sucker, and bought an electric system, or the electric setup, and put it all together myself in the basement, knowing nothing about electricity. But
Sure.
put that all together and hung it on the wall, and did it in the basement, and got a hood and all that, and vent, and so I could
Nice.
come down in my bathrobe and slippers, and had timers, and
Yeah.
go off and let me know.
Now it's just you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just show up to work in your slippers.
Oh,
and
I have.
Put your arm down in a beer or two.
I live next door, so it's very
Oh gosh,
convenient for
that
me.
is a nice
Oh, yeah.
drive to work,
Not
man.
upset about it.
Yeah, her window looks at the top of the brewery, the roof of the
You
brewery.
had a built-in security
Oh,
system
yeah.
too. You paying her security fees
We're
too?
gonna get her a pole slide
Yeah,
down.
just gonna be right to the top. It'll be fine.
How often are you guys brewing down there?
Probably 3 times a week,
Oh, okay.
generally. Sometimes it's we have a 15-barrel big brew house, and then we have our original one we started with, a 2-barrel. So
Okay.
sometimes it's one 2-barrel and 215, or just whatever. Whenever there's a fermenter empty, we try to get it filled as fast as possible.
Gotcha. How many try to keep on tap?
Oh gosh,
Oh, right now we're pretty full.
22,
I was gonna say,
24.
We have
like that.
Nice.
23 right now in total. Yeah.
Craft beer has gotten so much craftier in the last 4 or 5 years. When I was in Nashville, we started getting that push and that boom, and we started getting some craft breweries coming down there. But when I toured all over. So I got the West Coast, IPAs that were just ridiculous from the tap. And it took a while. I noticed, for those trends to kind of come this way, and for our trends to go that way. It was like a passing type thing. It's like stuck in time. So when you first decided to do the brewery, like, how did that come about? What was the thought process?
Well, the state changed that law about where you had to serve food, so that's kind of started the boom of all of them.
Yeah.
But I just kind of, my wife, one day I got another part for the electric brewery, and she got really pissed at me. She's like, "You need to start, making money and stop spending money." And I was
Gotta
like,
get
"Well,
some of this money back, bro."
I've got this idea," and she goes, "Well, check into it." So my cousin was a commercial real estate agent in Roanoke, so I called her up. I said, "Hey, I've got this idea. I was figuring, a kegerator and a picnic table, something like that." And
Yeah.
her husband at the time had just bought the original building that we were in, and spoke to him, and he got real excited. He was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa." And he kind of took it and ran with it, because otherwise it probably would never happen.
I got
It was going to be a live-in yoga studio person in that space, and he kicked her to the curb, and we spent summer building it out, and it
We
was
don't need
1,500.
wellness. No wellness here.
It was 1,500 square feet and dark like an English pub, and no outside space, and three floors of apartments above us, and
Yeah.
just put our heads down, and it's all a blur now. But
That's why. When was that? When did you guys start?
2014.
Okay.
And I was still teaching. We were only open Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I would teach till 3:30, go to the brewery. We'd mash in, get home about 12:30 at night.
Yeah.
Get up, do it again. So we had 6 beers when we opened. And it was 2-barrel batches, so 70 gallons.
Yeah.
And sold out, I think, in one weekend. And we had nothing. And back in it, this is where I learned never have an empty fermenter. So we actually had to close for like 2 weeks to get caught up, because all the beer was gone. So it was very well received. And kind of our whole spiel was, at that time, everybody just did their flagships, and then maybe 4 times a year they'd have a seasonal.
Yeah.
And coming from the homebrew side, I was like, I'd never brewed the same thing twice. So that was our whole spiel.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I just brewed whatever I felt like making.
Yeah.
Scaled up homebrew recipes.
That's what's fun to me. Like I always wrote down so that I could brew it again if I wanted to. You know, of course I was only doing like 10 gallons. You know, I think I've got 15 gallons pots, but I'd like have good intentions, and then I'd try to like go to local places and source from chocolatiers and source from local coffee beaneries and places. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think we discussed this last week. Beanery, is it a coffee beanery? Is that where you go? Or roast?
That's what they would call it, a roaster.
Roaster, right? I don't know.
A roastery?
Yeah.
Roastery?
A roastery? Is that right?
What's
I need
the
to
one?
Google it now.
Yeah, now you got me.
Google.
Find that one, Logan. But I'd always try to source stuff, and like I had a stout. I like big boy beers, and I like bottling in 22s. You know, that's just kind of like doing that.
That's
I
like
don't
the
know why.
staple right there.
It was, especially for the darker beers. So I had a habanero stout that was like 10%. And I'd always have my friends, you know, I was like, hey, you know, I aged this a little bit. It was really, really good and smooth. And it had that right at the end. You'd be like, what is that? But I grew the habaneros, dried them out, put them in at flame out, you know, type of situation. And I just love those, you know, I always had the intentions. I'm going to do this one again. But then my creative side, my artist mind's like, I got to think of something
Yeah, it's always
else.
one more. You want to up yourself almost.
Every
it's awesome.
time.
Yeah.
So,
And every 2 months a new hop comes out. Or
Yeah.
so that's my thing. I like hoppy beers. So you know,
Okay.
if there's a new hop out, I'll buy 88 pounds of it and only need 22 pounds.
Yep. I guarantee I've learned new hops since I've been there. Every time I come in, I'm
Yeah.
like, what's this? He's like, da-da-da-da. I'm like, what? Hold on,
Yep.
rewind, try again. Let's do
Yep.
it one more time.
Yep, and the base recipe is usually the same. You know, it's just usually it's changing the hop or a process. And you get it completely different.
I did a 120 clone, you
fun.
know, where
Yeah.
I think it was 5 or 15 minutes, I did hops into the boil. I can't remember how many ridiculous hops I had. I was like online, like ordering, and I sourced them, a few of them locally, and I had to bag and all that stuff. But I'd be like, Sagilahagio squad, you know, and I'd be like, oh, there's Magnums. Okay. You know, it's like, it was like just a bunch of, it's cool, man.
Got to be Johnny on the spot for that clone.
You do. I wish our climate was different, because I think you can grow like 1 or 2 types of hops here.
I had some for
Did
a while.
you?
Yeah, when I was homebrewing, actually, they did an article about me in the Roanoke Times.
No way.
And one of the worst pictures ever taken of me.
Was it one of these like underneath?
It was like me, like in hop vine coming up here. But
So his face.
Brian, that sounds great.
but they grew.
I need to find
I'm
the picture
picturing
now.
a cupid, like a little cherub.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I had 4, and they grew pretty good.
What'd you grow?
I had they're all C hops. Chinook
Okay.
grew really well. Cascade
Of
was
course.
all right.
Centennial.
Centennial was like Little
Right.
Bush,
Yeah.
and then I had Crystal, and they were prolific, but little tiny cones.
Okay.
And they have since
Pretty oily? Did you get pretty?
I actually only ever used them once.
Okay.
They were more for licks, I guess. I just
Yeah.
never, you know, you're afraid, am I going to F up this beer if I put these in?
Yeah.
But yeah, they were pretty. And like my trellis was PVC pipe. I saw this thing where,
Say like 20 feet up or
yeah.
something.
And look, my wife called them the goalposts. So they've since gone down, and the I'm sure the rhizomes are still under the ground, but they don't come up.
Brother, our significant others, any artist, any person that is an entrepreneur, they have to deal with so much eyesore crap.
So much patience.
Just junk. It's like, hey, I'm going to take up 800 square feet of my house for a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Or, you know, it's like, I'm going to build a brewery. It's like, golly, bless their hearts.
Yeah, I got the speakeasy in the basement. That was our latest thing. And I really went to town because, I mean, I had to have the basement waterproofed.
Oh, yeah.
And that was big bucks. And then,
Yep. I
and then
did
had
this
the,
one.
had the floor ground down and stained, and guy who had worked at the brewery done some work, and he came and stained the floor.
Good Lord, you
And
went
of course,
all in, bro.
Yeah, the basement waterproofing went haywire because they, you know, I live in a 100-year-old house, and he said, oh yeah, we're just going to jackhammer down and we'll put this French drain around the inside and cover it up. And they started jackhammering. The guy called me at work like lunchtime. He goes, can you come home? And I came home, and he's got this giant hole in the corner.
Oh,
He goes,
no.
He goes, well, the salesman gave you this quote based on the fact that you had footers, but we can't find any footers in your foundation. And I was like, oh, okay, what's that mean? He says, well, we can fill this hole back in, or we got this new system. And basically it was like $7,000 more. So we had it, and basically now I have a curb all the way around the inside, 12-inch wide, 6-inch high curb.
Hey,
but it's waterproofed.
Nice. Yeah, right.
So
that's hilarious, man.
So
but all for the love of the vibe.
Yeah,
right. It's a vibe.
Yeah.
Gosh, man. So you have people knock on your door and say like a secret word.
Yeah, we do.
In?
We have
he tries.
Password. Moist.
Perfect. So what does it look like? Like, what's the vibe inside of the moist cavern?
It's pretty cool. For a basement, it's like I have a.
There's rarely
so
any
take
men,
your
rarely men.
Take your furring strips down, and actually, I have painters who paint at the brewery came and they painted all my joists gray. It's
that's cool.
Real nice, and the floor is like a chocolate swirled.
Nice. I was going to ask if you did something cool like marbling or something in that.
And,
I think the copper
had it drywall.
My favorite. The coppering. That's my favorite.
Bars built out of 2 Buffalo Trace barrels that we had aged beer in.
Killer.
So I built a platform, put them on it, and then I had a live edge piece of slab that I got.
Nice.
Took it to Black Dog Salvage in Roanoke, and they flattened it and finished it up for me.
That's killer. I got a buddy that does that. It's like the ones that have the cracks in them, and he does like the lighting and all that.
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
was just filled with black filler.
That's killer, man.
Yeah. And
That's
then the
killer.
back bar, I was like, that's what took so long. Like, I wouldn't let anybody down there. And the back bar was just a piece of plywood, 3.25 inch plywood.
I got
So finally, I thought maybe I'll try copper. So I just Googled copper sheeting, and some guy on Etsy had the most beautiful copper sheeting you've ever seen, exactly the right length.
Yeah.
So I ordered a sheet. I don't know what it was, $400.
Yeah. Copper.
And, Chuck,
Wonder how many air
I was going to
conditioning
say, how
systems?
many people are listening for that address right now?
Yeah. That's AC. People with air conditioners,
Exactly.
robbed for
Popping
that.
Oh, yeah. Well, Chuck, my business partner, he's the one whose my wife teaches with.
Okay.
He can do anything and everything.
Yeah.
Fix it, build it, figure out how to do it. So he came over, we glued it down, bent it under.
Awesome, man.
Looks beautiful. It's hammered and got green swirls through it. It's really shiny, cool. So it turned out really nice. And walls are, I wouldn't call it hokey orange, but it's like it's supposed to be brick.
I gotcha.
That
sounds awesome, man.
So that's a little alcove with bottles in it, and then built shelves, and I've got up to 260 bottles, something
I
like
was going
that.
to say, his collection's ridiculous.
Yeah, you were telling me
That's
before we went on, like you're more of a whiskey guy now, right? Bourbon guy.
Yep.
That's killer, man. That's a hole you can go down.
Sure is.
What's funny is I've got multiple buddies. They're those that stand outside waiting on a Weller or I've got 3 buddies now that stand outside and wait on Weller or they'll, Pappy or something. It's like, oh my god.
Well, now they got that crazy email. So it used to be, you'd get a tip from somebody that was coming in, store manager, but then all that crap hit the fan a little while ago. So now they have an email thing where you have to sign up for the email list.
It's a lottery?
No, it's just and
It's like they give you
if they do a
pop-up.
drop, they send an email out if you're signed up, and then you have to click on the link, and then it shows all the stores that are getting allocated products.
Oh, boy.
Then you have to scroll through, find if it's one of your stores.
Yeah.
And then everybody jumps in their cars and drives 90 miles an hour to
I was
that
going to
store.
say, this seems dangerous to the public.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
very entertaining. He does drive-bys. I'll come in, he'll be leaving. He's like, drop off. I'm like, oh, got it.
And I'm literally 3 minutes from 4 stores.
Yeah.
And, and I have it on my notifications. And as soon as it gets it, I drop what I'm doing, run in the car, and I'll break speed barriers and get there. And there's 30 people there somehow already.
They're just living on the roof, man. Just rappel down.
Yeah, I'm done with that now.
So here's a question. My mouth is dry, and I see a glistening, what appears to be can of liquid, probably from your brewery.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
Maybe
a very
try
tasty
this one.
We brought several flavors.
Nice.
We've got a pale ale,
Okay.
an IPA. We brought a porter because I heard you were a dark beer guy.
I do. I
And,
enjoy those. I
sour
enjoy
beer.
those. Oh, great. What is this one called?
This one is our Star City Pale Ale, and it's actually our brand new one. We brewed it with Galaxy hops this time.
Okay.
So that's one I'll brew over 4 times a year and change the dry hop.
I gotcha. So you do a lot of dry hopping and a lot of...
Yeah, there's so much waste dry hop.
Oh, it's
but
crazy.
probably
Yeah.
25% of the volume. Yep.
Just soaks it up.
And then dump down the drain.
Thank you. So tell us a little bit about this one. What's the process?
This one's pretty basic. It's 2-row and Golden Naked Oats, which is
Okay.
my new favorite product.
Got a little slick to them.
Yeah, and it's
Thank you, ma'am.
nutty, but not like
killer.
nut brownie on nutty. So it gives it a little character and it has
Check
a
this
little
out,
color.
Logan.
Oh, snap. Look at that.
And
That can is schwanky.
Oh yeah.
Galaxy
Very
hops are
cool.
my favorite hops. We
What's
did.
gonna be nice? You can almost like collect them because the hop that we use is above the name of the
Okay.
beer, and it's a different color for each one, so you can see it and kind of have your own collection.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Killer.
it's really cool.
Hey, I know we're not going to be friends,
Oh no,
but
not at all.
pull that mic forward if you don't mind.
I got beers in front. We have
We-
priorities right now.
We had the conversation before that because I was an engineer and I toured. So, like, it's a microphone thing for me. It's so hard to mix afterwards.
Had a lean left to drink.
Yep. Well,
Exactly.
cheers. Thank you guys
Sure
so
thing.
much. I'm a
Two things. It is called
very
a
hot forward
it is called a roastery,
roastery.
and I found the picture from the
Okay.
Roanoke Times
All
of
right.
Brian.
Oh,
Brian, perfect. That's gotta just place it
Nice.
like right by his head in the clip. It'll be fine.
It's like the sun was in the right place.
It's quite majestic.
If it's not a cherub, I'm gonna be so upset.
I do like those hops. Very
Yeah.
floral on top.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
They taste kind of peachy. That's what I like about it.
Very, yeah.
But it's
I get
just
that,
a light, like 5.5%. You know, I would rather drink just a nice hoppy pale ale than a bunch of IPAs and have 3 IPAs and be bloated all
Yeah.
night.
Yep.
Man, I went through my phase where I was like pale ale. I was just like the Stone pale ales. I loved those because they were an easy drink.
Yep.
I could have like a 6-pack and be fine, you know, that. And then the, I hate to admit it, but Sierra Nevada,
Yeah,
their
it's a good
pale
one.
ale. I
It's a
was like,
classic.
man,
Oh yeah, you can't go wrong. It's
No.
crisp. It's clean.
yep. And they get cold. You know how some beers, they don't feel like they get really cold? Like, I don't know how they do it. Coors Light is always freaking cold to me, or it should be.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, but like there are a few crafts that just don't feel like they get. I don't know what it is about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like
there's-
even when they're the same temperature as something else, there's something about it that
Yeah.
doesn't make it as refreshing.
The mouthfeel.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I would say like anytime we have a porter or a stout too, sometimes that goes a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan
Chewy.
of
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I love me a good stout though. Like
Same. So this one, to me, I like kind of the bitter on the back. After a while, it's not like an instant bitter, but I like the profile of that hop. It's
And
really,
this one
really
has no. So if you haven't home brewed a while, you probably were used to putting hops in at 60 minutes, 15 minutes.
Sure.
Yep.
This
Yep.
has none of that. This is
Oh.
has some mash hops and a mash, and then whirlpool hops.
Okay,
Yep.
so just
And
a
then-
flame out, or
Yep.
yeah, quote
And
unquote
then,
flame out.
it's Cascade and Columbus actually, and it's a good amount. But we we don't whirlpool at like boiling. We'll cool it down to about 180, 185.
Okay.
and that kind of eliminates the bittering and gives you the flavor because it's a good. It's like 22 pounds total
Yeah.
oh yeah.
and 10
Gosh.
barrels.
It's a good
and,
chunk.
Just nasty to clean up.
and then one great
Gosh.
big giant dry hop for a couple days and.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good beer, man. I could drink a bunch of those.
It's always that good middle ground beer too. You know what I mean? Like you can start out with it, you can end with it. You don't have to worry too much about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because some beers, like I go through my moods where it's like I want a steak of a beer. I just want to be able to chew that beer. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Very heavy, very kind of sitting with a cigar type beer. You know, just that type feel. And then these are like I'm watching a band. I'm hanging out.
You're on the
you know.
water.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, we
This
have
one would go good with a. I don't know.
tacos,
I'm trying to think. Yeah, like
spicy tacos.
Yeah.
like salmon almost.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of vibe
Yeah.
is what
Yeah.
it feels like. Very good, man.
It's a beach beer. We'll go with that. That's the way
That's
to go.
good.
The vibe.
Hey, Logan, you want to taste this, man? Let's see if there's any left
There's
in here.
some in the
Hold on.
can.
Let's see if I
Yeah.
can come get a
Yeah,
little
we,
more
I
of
think we
that.
brought a 4-pack.
Yeah, here you go, buddy.
Oh, we definitely brought enough with us. My one duty was to bring the beer backpack. I said, got it.
I'm on top.
No problem.
On top of it.
I'll grab the bigger one.
Yeah, really.
So tell us about the brewery. Tell people that haven't been there, kind of more about it.
Like I said, we started a couple blocks down. We're on Salem Avenue, downtown Roanoke. Originally, we were a little closer, a couple blocks, right near the Roanoke Times, kind of sort of on the
Okay.
corner.
Yeah.
And we were 1,500 square feet. We had a capacity of about 50. It was really 45, but
Yeah.
At that point, was it just like a tasting room type situation?
we
or-
actually we had the bar was built out of beautiful American chestnut
Nice.
that was in a storage somewhere, and my brother or cousin-in-law had it in storage, and we picked through it, and same thing, live edge, built a beautiful bar out of it, and
I love that shit, man.
we put our brew house behind the bar, so people sitting at the bar could see. We had three vessel, just like in home brewing.
Sure.
Cold room, we stick built, spray foamed, used a CoolBot technology, which is a air conditioner that you plug this thing in and override it. So we had a cold room built
Always
like
cold.
that, and we had a fermentation room with the same setup. Had barely enough room to squeeze. We had plastic fermenters on wheels.
Yeah.
So we'd stick the temperature probe and tape over it with a piece of electrical tape. And,
Getting by.
Yeah. And,
Making it
It was
happen.
beer. And we had about 4x5 area for storage for bags of grain and stuff like that. And
I
so,
gotcha.
like I said, we were open 3 days a week and
Yeah.
killing it. And we had a 3-year lease. And like my cousins go all along, we wanted to use it as an incubator. So he knew we were
Okay.
going to leave eventually.
Sure.
So at the end of 3 years, we started looking around. We originally looked down by Dr. Pepper Park at a building.
Yeah.
Figured it wasn't going to be conducive to what we wanted. And then Bill Chapman, who's a developer in Roanoke, got in touch with me and said, "Hey, I'd like to do this up here in this part of town," and sent me this beautiful.
Yeah.
He had it done, architect's drawings
I
and
think
all
I
this
still
stuff.
have those pictures up top.
Oh,
I'll have
yeah.
to bring them out.
I'm telling you, man, you're
And,
set up the way that it sets. It's just picturesque. It really
Yeah.
is.
So
Man.
my big thing was I wanted outdoor space because
Yes.
we had
Yeah.
none. So we have, I want to say 7,000 square foot beer
Yeah.
garden in
Yeah.
downtown Roanoke, which is nice. So we have live music, generally three nights a week.
So I got to stop you there. So speaking of live music, shout out Jared Stout and the
Yeah.
boys, Robbie. What's up, fellas? Much love to you guys. And thank you for telling Brian about my wicked obsession with Hot Wheels and little cars. Because check this out. Brian brought that to me. Let me see.
That was my son's, I imagine.
How cool is that? It is going up in the memorabilia area up there, and they brought me some really cool stuff. I'll take pictures and put it up on all the social media. But thank you guys so much for that.
You're welcome.
So when you outgrew that, and you got these blueprints, and you were looking at them, what was the catalyst? Because I know a lot of people work with the city, or they'll work with certain things because they want to bring that vibe downtown.
Yep.
Was this something that you were able to collaborate with the city of Roanoke?
Oh yeah, they were deeply involved in it. Lots of historical tax credits because
Nice.
At the time, which have all since expired.
Sure.
Now we can do what we want.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fairly collaborative, and designer came from Texas and designed the interior, and it's just once again all a blur.
Yeah.
It just happened so fast, and I was still teaching at the time, and then once we opened, I resigned, tired
Yeah.
after 20 years of teaching.
My goodness,
Couldn't
man.
do both. But
So how long were you in it before you were like, all right, this double duty that I'm pulling, I just can't.
it was the 3 years down.
Was
at
it
the
right
place.
at 3?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was. And
You
it
were
was,
a trooper, man.
it was hard because I taught at a school at the end of my street that I live on, so I had a pretty
right
cushy
there.
job. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was hard to give it up, but
Yeah.
now everybody who retires there, they come to the brewery.
I was going to say, we have big parties for them now.
There's been 2 so far this year, and
Come on, remember when?
one coming
Those
up.
are fun days, though.
Yeah.
Like your OG people coming, just
I've
having
learned
a
a
beer.
lot. I've learned a lot about Brian. I've learned a
bunch of old stories. Don't you hate that though when you got your people? Because I was kind of in your position. I was like the tour manager. Like I was the manager, and I had all my crew and I had my artists and all that stuff. And like if one of my friends would come or do all that, they'd be like, "Did Rob tell you about the time?"
Oh,
I'm
God.
like, "Oh God."
Oh, instantly.
I'm originally from Pennsylvania, so all my friends are all over the place.
Yeah.
So occasionally we get together.
I was going to say, don't let him fool you. It's in the calendar already when the boys are in town. That is what it's, the whole week says the boys are in town. So I know.
So it's about to go down.
Exactly.
And
That's fun, man.
They came last year, and phew.
I've got cots in the back. It's fine.
And one lives in St. Croix, so it's fun when we get to go to his place.
I would say so.
Hang out.
Beautiful. Been there.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. So when the brewery kicked in, what made you decide, obviously, other than just the demand, to jump up to the bigger system?
Well, I mean, it was either that or go back to what I was doing, and felt like I had a good grip on process, and we worked with Deutsche and Charlotte, and they're pretty hands on. They came up several times, and we went down there, The big worry was, how do you run this? How do you run this big
How's
old
this
thing?
work?
Yeah, but it's actually so much easier than our original one's a little 2-barrel brew house.
Yeah.
So like I said, 70 gallons, and we still have to put the hoses on and clamp them on and switch them
Sure.
around and all this. And Chuck built a little manifold, but you still have to. But now that the manifold's built in, and just figuring out where stuff went was the hardest part. But,
It's like,
yeah. But it's
Oh,
push
no.
button. Everything up top has got an HMI, and
Yeah.
that's nice. And we ran our own glycol, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it was just, things went well. We had a good amount of money in the bank, so
yeah.
none of us took
important.
paychecks at the old place. So
Yeah.
so it was 3 years of just accumulating.
Yeah.
Some
That's
cash.
good, man. You have to have it, just that, just in case money.
Yeah.
It's like, oh gosh, we're pouring into it, but what happens, just in case. So let's talk to you a little bit. I've seen, like I was telling you before we came on, I try not to do a bunch of research, about folks, but I did go on and see where you're always doing something in the
it's
community
nonstop. Yep.
with the people, holidays, what was this last thing you guys had? It was like something where people,
Cinco de Drinko.
Yeah.
Now, that was a very important holiday to us. It was very entertaining.
seems very,
Oh, yeah. Had some family fun.
Yeah. Shout out to the owner of my gym who suggested the
Tortilla challenge.
slapping
Yep.
challenge.
yeah, I
So
saw that. That was funny.
that was all
very
him.
entertaining. We had a waiver and everything. It was.
You had to sign a waiver for tortilla
yeah.
slap?
Oh yeah.
Dang it.
Anybody losing an eye?
Oh, that
I was
makes
waiting
sense,
for
I
Aaron to
guess.
take you out.
Oh yeah.
He was against his daughter for their round. It was very entertaining.
she's got pent up anger.
Oh
She
yeah.
did. Yeah,
Daddy, Dad's about to get it.
we posted it, and some guy
Oh
threatened
yeah.
me.
Some guy threatened him.
So then I went to my daughter graduated from Roanoke College 2 weekends ago, and we went early, and so we went to graduation. Then we went out that night, and we're at Mac and Bob's and meeting all these friends of hers.
Yeah.
And meet this guy, and he's like, oh, he goes, well, I'm the one that threatened to hurt you on Instagram because
You feeling froggy, boy?
yeah. And Aaron said, well, I explained to him it's just a tortilla slapping challenge. He wasn't hurting me or that stuff, and it was kind of awkward, but
Yeah.
funny at the same time.
Yeah. I've never met anybody that actually fessed up to talking shit. So
Yeah.
that's funny.
And then he
man.
bought me an F-bomb. I learned what an F-bomb
there,
was.
I was gonna say.
Now, what is that? I mean, other than the obvious,
Oh,
but
It's a shot they do. It's Red Bull in the glass. It's even got a special shot glass.
okay.
Plastic about that high. It's got a little like built-in shot glass in the middle of it.
Okay.
And so I guess either the vodka goes in the middle and then the Red Bull around it, or vice versa.
Okay.
And you shoot it, so you're shooting Red Bull and vodka at the
So
same
it's just a
time.
Red Bull
So it's
vodka.
just 4 locos just chugging them really fast.
Yeah, and it was. So he bought me one of those. And,
It was a little peace
yeah.
treaty.
A peace offering. Look
Peace
at that.
offering was
Connecting
signed.
the generations. That's what he was doing there.
Has a peace offering ever been signed over an F-bomb? That's the question. Usually war has been
They
started.
should
Yeah.
now. That's the problem.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But they were doing those things left and right.
Oh, there's no
just
way.
dropping F-bombs
My-
everywhere.
My heart would explode if I had too many of those suckers.
So I used to do Jaeger bombs, so which is
Oh.
really close. But now it's weird. I don't know why. I think I enjoy Jaeger. I don't know why. I just drink it hot. I'm cool with it. It's just one of my weaknesses.
Not me.
You know?
Jameson right here. No, I'm a Jameson.
Jameson.
Girl. Yep.
Yep.
Give me a pickleback all day.
So my wife and I tried. I think that's what it was, and I thought it was okay. I thought it was decent, but she couldn't get through it.
Oh, I love it. Anything with pickle juice in it, I'm sold. I'm eventually going to get a pickle beer going at some point.
They've got everything
Place
else
across
pickle.
the street does one. So,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh,
So I heard there's a place across the street.
so I don't know if I can do one.
we'll call it the cucumber beer.
Yeah.
Be fine.
See, for me, like, there's certain things that work, and I think pickle. I don't know what would the grain bill be like on a pickle beer to make it work?
Well, I think it's
Yeah.
just this guy across the street. He says it's something in a certain variety of hops that gives it the majority of its pickle-iness.
Really? So it's
Yeah.
not like dry pickled?
No, not at all. He may throw some. What's in pickles?
Might be dill.
Dill,
Dill.
Yeah, I
right?
was going to say peppercorns.
Might be a little bit of dill in it, but he used to brew at Right Mind,
Okay.
and that's where it was called Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick.
And that's where it originated from. And my wife and I were serving beer at a beer festival, and we had right minds, whatever, and
Yeah.
tried it, and it was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I haven't had his iteration now that he's in Roanoke,
I gotcha.
but yeah, interestingly, it was very good.
That with a burger, you can't go wrong.
True. Yeah.
See, I could see that.
See?
Yeah, I could. Yeah.
Chicken wings.
Oh
Chicken-
yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So I love a good pickle with like any of that stuff. But so Jared Stout, we mentioned him. You
Yep.
guys have an outdoor situation, right? You
We do.
can
Yeah.
rock and roll, full
yeah.
band, or is it more set up for like acoustic type deals?
Well, we do full band. He was
Nice.
there last
Yeah,
weekend.
they were
Friday night.
there. Yeah.
Killer.
Yep. Him and Alabaster Boxer. Those
That's
are some.
right.
Those are my homeboys right there.
Yeah.
Love them.
Are they local?
They're from West Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. We're gonna start kicking up more. Huh?
So West by God, Virginia.
that's right.
So we're gonna
Yeet.
we're my daughter Yeats and she's 8.
Oh, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So we're gonna start doing more bands. You know. You know, I know a bunch of the great dudes around here, but like we're gonna make it a point to have like a local business,
Yeah.
comedian, like musician. You know, that kind of like role. Try to do that
Yeah,
more.
the
so.
trifecta right there.
Yeah, you know, just kind of do it. The goal with the place is to have it more like a talk show, so we actually have a musical guest as well.
Oh, fun.
So that's down the road. We're gonna turn that section over there into like a little
The next
stage.
project.
Yes. After I get that side done, I'm exhausted. Space Rabbit Coffee. If you're listening, she almost died when she went into my old bathroom because it was like a dungeon. So now you'll be happy to know that the podcast restroom is being redone as we speak.
Yeah, I think she
Perfect.
said something about hovering. I don't know.
Yeah, she had to hover.
It's a thing. We do that.
And this comes from somebody that's been to festivals and been in the hot boxes many times, and I still was it was suspect if people were going to make it out of that bathroom.
So you go to a West Virginia tailgate, nothing is suspect.
Yeah.
You can go anywhere. It's
So
fine.
I have played a lot of shows in West by God, and it is always hilarious. One of the funniest ones. Here's a funny story. So we were playing. I can't remember. It might have been the state fair, but Brantley Gilbert, Craig Morgan. There were, I think it was, what's the shorter guy? I'll kick your ass. What's his name? I'll jack your jaw. What's his name? Anyway,
Be sure it's gonna be like Jack or something.
I can't remember his name. But anyway, so we were playing, and it was hilarious because it was close enough. So my family was there. So my wife was there, my in-laws, and they come up on stage and hung out. And I looked out, and everybody, there wasn't a shirt on a dude in the crowd. And
Nope.
and if they did have a shirt, the sleeves were not present.
Oh no.
And so basically, I look out, and there's like this whole row passing a bag of Doritos back and forth. And I'm like, only in West Virginia. and yeah, that
Surprised
was,
they didn't have a Mountain Dew bottle following it.
it probably was like take a hit and take a swig.
yeah,
Take a hit and take a swig.
That's breakfast.
Yeah, man. Golly. So you born and raised West
am.
Virginia? We're sitting here making fun of it. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no, I'm born in a little town called Sissonville. It's about 15 minutes outside of Charleston, West Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of people don't tend to know where that one is, but I
Yeah.
grew up a holler. I'm a holler girl.
Holler
so,
girl.
Family's still in the house they built. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
it's really
killer.
cool.
I like West Virginia. I do. We got snowed in up in Charlestown.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, we were up there doing some gambling, and luckily I won big on blackjack because I was
You're
paying
staying the next
cash
couple of nights.
because it snowed like 3 feet. That's when
Yeah.
that huge blizzard came.
Oh, yeah.
And I was paying everything with cash. And if I hadn't won blackjack, I was like, okay,
This is it. We're in the car.
yeah, we're sleeping in
At
the
some point.
CRX is what I had.
Motel 6.
It was bad. We had a hotel, we had that whole thing, but it snowed. I mean, it snowed.
Oh, the winters get crazy. That's what
was
I got
gnarly.
pumped about moving up here when I did, because y'all's winter this past
We didn't have
winter
shit.
was nothing. I
Oh,
think
it's so
we
sad.
had more snow on our window painting than we did on the actual ground.
Yeah.
We had that until March too, so that was your
Dude.
winterscape if you wanted some chill.
Man, it was so bad. Like I was looking, my wife bought our kids all new snow suits, like the full deal, and of course they're 5 and 8 now, so they're growing like weeds. So those are completely useless.
Yep.
But like snow boots, outfits, I bought new sleds. I did all this stuff in preparation.
And
'cause-
nothing.
And then
I'm here
I was
for it.
I was just
Sweet
praying for a
rules.
rain so maybe we could get out and slide down the hill or
Just
something.
pretend a little bit.
You get kids like that, you want them outside doing something.
Yeah, my wife was hoping for snow days. She's got
Yeah, I guess teachers got screwed too.
one more year before she can retire, and she's like, "Geez."
Yeah.
Be like, cut them days out.
I remember back when I went to school, I grew up in Reiner. And I mean, they put the chains on the damn bus.
Oh yeah, that's where I
Now-
grew up off. So I was 2.5 hours from Lake Erie.
Oh, yeah.
When it snowed, it snowed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
There's no
chains
stopping.
on every car.
I guess it's a budget thing, really. It's like, we don't have budget for salt
Yep.
Yeah.
or something. It's like, what are we doing?
I remember missing one day of school ever.
Yeah. I
And
think
that was because
that's the
down
same with
county,
ours.
the ice broke on the river and took a bridge out, so the down county kids couldn't get to school, so they canceled it for everybody. And that's the only day that I can ever remember.
our heat went out one time. And I think that's the only time I remember growing up.
I
that
know.
I
We
was
always
like,
had school, no matter what.
it was just going down. We didn't have AC. I mean, there was no AC. It was like open the windows, living
Yep.
that life. Hey, let's do this. Let's play our little questionnaire thing, bro.
fine.
Pull that up.
Are we finna ask for mine?
About to.
Are we ready for another beer?
I'm finna ask these mugs 5 questions while Donovan pours us graciously the next beer. We'll talk about that here
I
in just
love
a
these
second.
glasses, man.
Oh, thanks, man. They're OG, and I got some of the kind of the more flat ones too.
Stemless.
They're awesome. All right, so this is the section where we just ask literally 5 ridiculous questions.
All right.
And while you do that, I'll start with Brian. All right, Brian, is cereal soup?
Cereal soup.
I accept that, by the way. Sound effects, it's all about.
Yeah.
Because seriously,
Cereal soup. Yeah, you got something solid floating around in a liquid. I'm thinking like a second grade teacher.
yeah. Is that what you taught second grade?
Yeah, most of the time.
That's what my daughter is. I am so sorry.
Well, I taught some
He
years.
deals with me, so he's still there.
1 year in 6th grade, and believe me, anything's
Thank you.
better than that.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Is cereal soup.
soup.
Define soup.
I'm an old guy, and I've never heard that question.
Soup is defined as cereal. No, I really don't. So you think about it. I mean, you
Yeah.
got like chicken noodle soup. It's
Yeah.
got stuff floating around it. You got Fruity Pebbles. It's stuff floating around in it.
So, soup is defined as a liquid dish typically made by boiling meat, fish, or
Oh.
vegetables, etc., in stock
Could
or
be-
It's all about
water.
the definition.
It could be soupy.
Soupy.
Or-
There you go.
Okay.
Definition number 2 is a substance or mixture perceived to resemble soup in appearance or consistency. That one sucks.
There you go.
So it could be, right? So what do
Yeah.
you think, Donovan?
Is cereal a soup?
It is now.
I know, right?
Yeah,
As
right.
of right now, that's all
As
I
of
can think
current-
of now is just.
Yep.
I would go with no.
No.
I would
Okay.
go with no, just because of that first definition with the meat and all that. I can't.
Yeah, that kind of.
That's what I was thinking originally.
Yeah.
Usually there's some kind of bone.
Plus, I'm that
Yeah.
psychopath that eats
Boiled.
cereal like dry
Yes.
and then has a cup of milk on the side. Like I'm that.
Oh.
I'm that cereal.
You do
killer.
that?
Oh yes.
What happened to you?
Childhood.
Okay. That's like those mugs that go to the gym. You know, I used to be a gym dude, so I get it. And they'd put the protein in their mouth
yeah,
or
and
the
then-
pre-workout and then just. It's like,
Okay, I was one of those people. Now it all connects.
So what happened? No,
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that too.
What's that thing? Emotional damage.
I'm damaged.
She likes to chew on chalk while she's watching a movie.
Exactly.
Is that a thing? God, could you imagine?
That's what putting that protein powder in your mouth.
Yeah.
would be like.
Y'all ever choked on a sweet tart? The dust when you bite into a sweet tart?
Ooh.
Have you ever inhaled and like, this isn't a question. This is just me out
I
of
think I have
curiosity.
with
I've
Fun
done
Dip.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I've done that with sour Skittles, and that was awful.
Yeah. So I was on a flight. Funny story. Everything happens to me on a flight. And I had sweet tarts, and we were getting ready to take off, and I cracked one of those bad bitches open, and it was inhaling at the same time, and it hit. It hit both tonsils apparently,
Oh yeah.
and just was in there doing work. I mean, mad work.
You're
And I was
downhill.
like, and I couldn't. We were taking off, and I couldn't do anything, and I was red, crying. You know, my dudes are like. You know, and I'm holding up this,
The air mask.
and they were like, "You're choking on." They were like, "Do we need to do Heimlich?" Or I was like, "Dust, it's the dust." And they were like, "Oh my gosh, this man is going to lose."
Oh, that's
All right,
phenomenal.
question number 2. So, in 40 years from now, what do you think people will miss about this day and age, like 2023? What do you think's going to be memorable?
In 40 years.
Enjoying the outdoors.
Oh yeah, that's a
You
good
think
one.
that's going?
I
I think
think
that's
it will.
leaving us.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna be like the virtual interactive stuff now. That's,
You think
AI.
people
You
are
can
going into the AI
kayak
world?
inside, all that jazz.
Dude, I tried that. My buddy has an Oculus.
I would say good music.
Weird.
My
I'm sad
my
about
son
that, but-
has a degree from Virginia Tech in forestry
Okay.
and seldom leaves his room.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Because he's on
Just
internet all the
internet
time.
all the time. I think that's hopefully, I don't know. I think things come in waves. I think the kids are going to get so bored with themselves.
It's like have you seen the theory? There's like the conspiracy theory with the Wall-E movie. Oh my gosh, if you want a rabbit hole to go into.
Bring it to life, Donovan.
Just
Bring
look
it to life.
up the Wall-E conspiracy theory, because the whole purpose of Wall-E was that Earth was shutting down and they had to leave the planet to go find another source or wait until the planet Earth was able to grow like plants
Okay.
again and everything.
Yeah.
So these people are up in this spaceship and everything is done for them. They sit in a chair, they don't walk, they don't they drop a pill for food. Like that's how it is. I'm telling you, you got to look into it.
That's wild.
Because it shows like there's a whole part in the movie where it shows like when they first left the planet and where they are now. And it's like their bodies are huge. The bones are like non-existent. And at one point, the like ship is shutting down because they weren't supposed to be out there that long.
Wow.
And people are falling out of these chairs and they can't walk. Like they look like infants trying to walk
Just
again.
gelatinous.
I'm telling you, Disney knows what's up. Disney is like The Simpsons.
The Simpsons know what's
It
up.
is a thing. I
So-
don't know if they have the same like voodoo magician or what going on, but they both know what's going on.
They have proven to me that there's a time machine somewhere. It has got to be. What? So 40 years from now, good music. You don't think you think?
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have the live music like we have today. I think everything like there's this guy on TikTok I follow, and his whole job is he shows songs today and where they stole their beats from,
Oh,
or
yeah.
like where the like original soundtrack came from. And I think that's just what we're heading towards. Like there's barely any originals out there. If you're an original, it's very slim pickings for that. And at that point, 40 years, everything's going to be recorded and synthesized, and just nothing's going to be original anymore.
That's makes sense. What about you, Brian?
Sad.
It is sad.
It is. Right?
He's a music man, so he's
Yeah.
I am
devastated.
too.
I was going to
I
say.
spend most of my free time going to see live music.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know. Be some kind of new alcohol. I'm sure it's going to replace.
Yeah. IV alcohol.
Have you seen the there is a new alcohol. It's like whipped cream. Like people are doing whippets.
Yeah.
Like legal whippets.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I've seen
getting
like
drunk off
the
of it.
vapor
Yeah.
drinks. You know, I've seen those. I've seen that like obviously the smoked drinks that like literally I have a smoker, but it's different than that. They actually vaporize the drink.
Yeah, and you can like inhale
more.
it. It's very odd.
I don't think I like that.
That would terrify me. That'd be like eating a gummy and not having any control. Be like,
Zero.
we're just going down this path and you chose it. Like
Joey Diaz, you know Joey Diaz. He's a comedian. He's hilarious, and he's like he always talks about taking these edibles.
Oh,
I
okay.
took 500 milligrams, Joe Rogan. You know, and just he's like I didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
I'm a Kirshner
Okay.
fan right here. Brett
Yeah.
Kirshner's my dude. I can't
Yeah.
with him.
He's hilarious.
If I could be Isla for a day, I totally would. His daughter, I would 100% be Isla. I'm
shooting dice.
obsessed.
yeah,
Shooting dice at the school? Yes.
Yeah,
Coming
dude.
back to Roanoke this summer.
I know. I've already got
We
it
saw him last
saved.
time.
I'm
He'll be
ready.
here.
Me
So-
and my partner are going. I'm excited.
Do it.
Yeah, he's a hoot.
So number 3, what is the most imaginative? Hey Logan, do me a favor. Come in here real quick.
Okay, yeah. Weak.
All right. So this dude, what is the most imaginative insult you can think of for Logan?
Of Logan?
Insult him. Very imaginative. Like if I were to look over and I'd be like, Logan, you kind of look like a row of broccoli. See the way he looks right there? He looks like a head in a row of broccoli right now. All right.
Oh, goodness.
Insult Logan.
Insult me.
You don't know about Bruno? No.
He
I feel
looks
like if you
like-
put your hair down, you'd be a Bruno.
Hang on. We can make this
Well, right
happen.
now he looks like Tom Cruise in that samurai
God, I
movie
can't wait.
from behind.
Oh my god, yeah. Everyone says
The
that.
Last
The
Samurai.
last samurai. Yeah.
Everyone at work always says that.
The Last Samurai.
The Last Samurai. Yeah.
The Jason Momoa you ordered versus what you got.
The Wish version of Jason Momoa. Oh, man. All right, bro. Get out. All right. So number 4, congratulations. I hope Logan's not too hurt by that. But
No.
All right. If peanut butter wasn't called peanut butter,
Oh God.
what would it be called?
Nut butter.
Yep, there it is.
Nut butter.
Yeah.
If peanut butter,
These nuts.
creme de la nut.
Creme de la nut.
There you go.
Okay,
We're
I like that.
fancy.
It went French.
Peanut cream.
Peanut cream.
Oh,
Nice.
I'm uncomfortable.
Nut cream. All right.
there's that crunchy too. You got to think about crunchy peanut butter.
Yeah, what is that
That's a whole
called?
different ball field.
Yeah,
That's called hurting the next day.
Rocky butter.
Oh.
I don't know. All right. So, final one, and then we'll take a quick. Actually, final one, then I want to hear about this beer, and then we'll take it. So, what is the most embarrassed you have ever been?
Oh God. Does he look at me first? Because that
Oh, I know mine.
I don't
And I
I
hope
don't
my
get
parents aren't
embarrassed very.
Or my
Oh
wife.
no, I don't know if I can tell that story. No, I don't know about that. But I don't get embarrassed very often. I think the only time I will get embarrassed is if my partner is calling me out for something.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but she just has these zingers. And I'll be saying something and she's like, "Today, Junior," like it just cuts me. And I don't know, that's my love
So it
language.
gets you
and I just,
embarrassed?
immediately. Because I can't, for some reason, when it comes to her, I cannot respond like
I
quickly.
gotcha.
Like with Brian, you can ask Brian. I'll talk shit with them all day. Like
Yeah,
all
yeah.
day, every day, I'll talk shit with the boys. But
Yeah.
as soon as she comes in, I'm like,
What about you?
Me, this is a long story.
Hey,
like
please.
I said, I hope
"Oh, do I know this one?"
I hope my wife's not listening.
She
And I
will
said
be.
my parents originally, but they were there. So I
Okay.
know.
Oh, I have one for my
So my
brother.
sister lives in Culpeper.
All right.
My parents live in Pennsylvania, so generally, if I get to see my parents, they're in Culpeper because my sister has young children.
That's
and
very good.
Mine aren't young. So they invited me to come up for Yeaster at a local brewery there.
Yeaster?
Yeaster.
Yeaster.
What the hell is yeaster?
Easter.
It's
That sounds like a brewing term.
yeah, it's something they celebrate at Penn Druid Brewery there.
Oh, okay. Never
So,
mind. I completely missed a part of that
And
story.
food trucks and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeaster.
so
Gotcha.
I was like, sure, I'll come up. It was a Sunday. Got up at 8, had a cup of coffee, drove all the way there. Got there about noon. They're like, all right, let's go. So I was like, all right. So we got in the car, went. Never did eat anything.
Okay.
Well, Copper Fox Distillery was right there. So
Oh, boy.
first thing I knew them because they'd bought some grain. So we went in there, did the tour, got like 8 drinks.
Yeah.
On an empty stomach.
Got 8.
Then we went over to Easter, and by then I was feeling and my dad is like, "You should eat something." I'm like, "I'll get to it." And
Leave me alone, Dad. It's pressure of being
time went by. I forget what the name of the band was. Gold County Ramblers came in, and they were playing, and I was having a great time drinking beer. The owners of Penn Druid are in a great band, by the way, called Pontiac. If you've ever heard
Nice.
of it, with a K.
That sounds like a jam.
3 brothers. They look like Norse Vikings.
What type of music is it?
Sold.
It's like what would I call it?
Melt your ears.
Jam bandy metal. kind of
Okay,
stuff.
cool. I dig
They're
it.
big-
Pontiac, it better be
They're
good.
kind of a big deal. That's how they opened a brewery. And all
Okay.
that. Bigger in Europe, I think.
I
But
gotcha.
anyhow, so talking to them, having a great time. Well, eventually my sister and my dad left, and I'm there with my brother-in-law,
Oh, I know.
and I never did eat. So having a great time, and then next thing I know, I'm waking up
Oh,
feel,
First
Here you
this
go.
one, it gets good. It's
feeling like crap, and I'm in the bottom bunk of my nephew's bunk beds. So I roll out of bed, I go in the bathroom, go to the bathroom, and I go to wash my hands, and I look in the mirror, and my entire forehead, nose, cheeks, chin is all scraped off.
oh my man.
And I was like, what in the hell happened to me? And went out, and my mom, dad, my sister were out there. They're like, how you doing? I said, oh man, what happened? And my brother-in-law said, well, we were leaving Penn Druid. It was dark, and you fell in a culvert
Oh,
on your face.
on your face.
had
Your
to get
face
you
saved
out,
it.
and I was going to take you home. We were going to go to some parties. I said, but I think I should take you home. And you said, no, let's go to the parties. So apparently I went to like 4 parties. And
dang, man.
yeah, I got home, and the most embarrassing part was I went to the bathroom. I guess I sat down and passed out on the toilet. And my sister, my only sister, had to come in and scrape my rear end off the floor. pull my britches up. And
Literally.
the floor?
No,
Literally,
it
it
was-
sounds like it. That's what it was
I think
going
I sat down to pee is what it was, but then passed out. So lying
Golly.
there with my pants around my ankles, and my 13 years younger than me sister had to pull me into the
Put your junk up.
my
Everything,
my
man.
nephew's bottom bunk.
Just closing your eyes. I can only imagine.
And
Just,
so then, God, I hope my wife's not listening.
But here,
so then
in
I had
all,
to
the,
make
in
up-
all the
Are
places,
we telling the whole
you went in the
story?
bottom bunk. You
Yeah.
went into
So I made up the story when I got home that I fell in the culvert because my sister's got a bunch of property and they do have culverts.
Yeah.
And I told her I was playing darts with my nephew, dart guns, and I wasn't
And he
watching.
ran through one.
And I fell in a culvert, and
Dang it.
so that's what she thinks happened.
to this day, that's what happened.
But I have the photo in my phone. I could find
Oh,
it.
it's a great one.
Please send
Of my
it.
face.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
So that, and then so every time I see my mom, she's like, "Did you tell her?" I'm like, "No, mom."
Did on Commotion Podcast in a roundabout way. So would you like to say sorry now and save some face?
I'm hoping
Did you see
she'll-
the save face thing? Sorry.
I'm hoping she's already rolled her eyes by now and like
She's
tuned-
turned us off at
tuned
this
out.
point.
I got you. So you said you had a funny one.
Oh gosh,
You
it,
remembered one.
involves my brother more, so now I feel bad. But anyways, it's a great story. My youngest brother, he turned 21 a couple years ago, and me and my middle brother, we're only 18 months apart. Me and my middle brother Kiefer. So we were like, we're big about birthdays. Like no matter what, we go big. So we take him out. We have dinner with the family, and my parents are like, you have to take care of them. I'm like, shit, I'm the responsible one this year. That's right, it's my turn. So, of course, I only had like half the beers. It's fine. But we're going out. We're bar hopping. Trenton starts macking on all these girls. Well, then I come over, and I'm like, I'm his sister. You want to come hang out with us? Da-da-da-da. Well, somehow that all turns up to us ending up at a strip club
Oh,
in the middle of downtown Charleston. We go up there, and my middle brother, who he is 2 sheets past the wind right now, like he starts hitting on the bartender, asking her, why is a pretty girl working in a place like this? Like he's pulling those moves. Like I'm talking classic, like, what are you doing right now?
Let me save you.
Exactly. Me and my best friend Micah are the DDs of the night, and we're sitting over in the corner and we're like, what is happening? Because then my youngest brother's getting hit on by all the strippers. Like Kiefer's making a mess of himself. Well, we put Trenton in the front. We're hanging out. We get him some ones. We're chilling, and he is gone at this point. His forehead is on the like stage. He's
Ooh,
done
that's a
for
bad place to
oh
be.
yeah. So this girl is
Become a prop.
dancing. Exactly. No, it gets so much worse.
Pry his head off of
But
it.
the stripper starts going, and this is the like only like full nudity one in Charleston, of course. So he's not paying attention, and she does this move, and as she's doing this move, he goes to put the one inside her garter belt, completely misses, but definitely like card swiped her.
Oh,
Card
nice.
swiped her.
He was trying to do some
100%.
credit moves.
Oh, 100. He was trying to see how far that student loan went. That's what he was trying to see. And she immediately stops, grabs his fingers, flips them up like she's going to break them, looks at me, who I am in the far corner, like living my best life, fine. And she's like, the only reason I'm not breaking them is because of you. And I'm like, break them. I don't know. Like, I'm sorry. Like, he immediately shuts down, sits against the wall, and we have to go home. And mom and dad are like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "No, I'm not okay."
Fingers are a little sore, to
Oh
be
yeah,
honest.
exactly. Be like, I
don't
need to
know.
wash.
I don't know if it's from the
Gangrene
swipe.
of the knuckle.
smells like vanilla and cigarette.
What is this? It smells like
Bath and Body Works.
it's like good intentions.
Why is there glitter
bath.
everywhere?
That's hilarious.
There we are. It's a good time.
Well, both of those are they're mildly embarrassing. So congratulations, guys. Yours might have repercussions,
I
Brian.
love you, Beth.
Mm-hmm.
That's my sister.
Okay. So tell me about this beer. You cracked one open. Is that the can?
It is.
Let me check it out.
This is a White Bronco, which
Oh,
has
this is the one I used in the promo. Yeah.
become our most popular beer.
Oh my gosh. Are you going to
Show
tell them
that
about
thing
this
off,
story?
I'll tell
Check
them
it
the
out.
story. It's either politically or not politically correct, but we had just opened a new place. This was our first IPA. One of my partners, Lee, was a musician, and that's how I met him.
Okay.
Business partners. He's very witty, comes up with stuff. So we were talking about hazy IPAs, and they're juicy, and So he immediately comes up with, oh, we ought to name a beer White Bronco, and we could say where the juice is.
Where's the juice?
Yeah, and I'm a big Buffalo Bills fan. I always have
Okay.
been, so I love OJ.
Yeah.
Nope.
So we're like, perfect. So we brew it. It's wonderful. We open, it was our grand opening at the new space. Everything was going great. And all of a sudden someone posted a 1-star review on,
Oh gosh. Yep.
Was it OJ?
no, it wasn't. It was some woman out in California, oh, I used to love Big Lick, but now they're whatever, murderers and this and that. And blah, blah.
Oh, God.
So
Oh,
it went
yeah.
on and on for
on, lady.
a couple weeks, and we deleted her from here, and she went to there, and
Good Lord.
so it was a stink.
Yep.
So you're saying she was bored?
Yeah, apparently.
We had a recent guy
and
too.
then about every 2 years, someone will get butthurt about the name.
Just a
So
hater.
just recently, we had a guy.
Oh
yeah,
gosh, this
and,
guy.
He
Sorry if you hear that. I say this on every episode.
Little nuggets.
It's bedtime for the elephants
Yeah.
upstairs. Sorry, go ahead, bro.
sorry, we had a guy who brought a poster in for the Vespa Club of Roanoke and
Okay.
dropped
just
it
think of
off,
that.
and then 2
Vespa.
days later, he goes on. I guess
It was our
Google.
page. He
Oh,
goes
yeah.
on our page because I had posted a post for White Bronco,
Okay.
and he had then commented on our post.
he's like, "What are you going to brew a Nicole
Brown ale.
Nicole Brown Ale and
Yeah.
a bloody blah blah blah." And,
Yeah.
and so we were like,
What is-
this is not appropriate. So Chuck deleted it and banned the guy. He did it on his Vespa Club.
Oh, my
So then he
gosh.
comes on his own personal page
Yeah.
and says, "You're so childish. Why would you delete me?" Blah blah blah. So I
And then he
deleted
called
that.
us big
and-
dicks.
yeah.
Oh, God.
Bunch
And
of
so
big
then
dicks.
he emails my email account and
Oh, it
gives me
gets
a hard
worse,
time
yeah.
about it. Says I'm going on. I've called CNN and the Roanoke Times and all this stuff. And
Good.
so we're like, what in the hell do you want?
Yep.
And so
and then we got an email.
Hey, pull that I am so sorry. Pull it a little
Yeah,
closer.
I got an email from some random guy who goes, "Hey, I just want to let you know there's a guy on Reddit."
Oh,
it
gosh.
Reddit?
I'm
Yeah,
like going
it's Reddit.
wild.
There's
Some-
that. Have you seen the "You're the Asshole"?
No.
It's a
On
new
the-
thing on Reddit
Am I-
where
Oh, no.
Am
yeah.
I the asshole? And so he went on there and posted about what he thought with us, and am I
and
being
he
an
asked,
asshole?
"Are you the asshole?"
And there was like 50
He got
responses.
obliterated. Obliterated.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
It was insane. And then you could see as you're reading down it how his like whole story changes. It's like, oh no, I do love them as a brewery. I never meant blah blah blah, all this stuff. And even after that, he
ended up deleting his
deleted
thing.
it. Yeah.
And then he sent me an email apologizing, still
Apologizing.
thinking, well, I think it's in bad taste and you're bigger than that, and blah, blah, blah. Would you like to get together and talk about it? And
Yeah.
he goes, we can text or meet in person, and I just ignored it. I'm like, I do not want to text to you.
This is how you're gonna get murdered.
And so I haven't heard from him in
He's gonna
about 2
kidnap
weeks.
you on his Vespa.
But it's just
Jeez,
like,
man.
and it's just like, it's just the name of a beer. It's
Yeah.
not,
Yeah. It's, hey,
and
hey,
I
guys.
couldn't like
Yeah.
have
Calm down.
I couldn't have OJ in like the airport jumping over suitcases because I'd get sued
Yeah,
by
oh God,
Avis. Or,
yep.
Yeah.
or
And you
anything
can't
like-
have any buffalo symbols or anything.
Yeah, I can't
like
have
that.
him in a Bills uniform.
Yeah.
But-
So, man, people that care about that shit
Yeah, too much
are
time on it.
just mind-boggling that people have that in their lives. They have that spare time.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like Yelp reviews, cool, give some good Yelp reviews, but the people that like leave a 1-star and say, well, I don't really like da 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 da
Oh,
type
yeah.
of beer. It's like, well, it's a brewery. Why are you
Oh,
leaving a
God.
1?
I can't tell you how many times I'll text them to him because we'll get some reviews and I'm like, what the actual hell? Like, get up and come talk to me. I'm literally standing there in the brewery watching you drink your beer. You put out a review like 2 stars. I got splinters in my leggings because I sat on the wood bench.
I used
like,
to.
okay.
I love this place, but they really need to fix their outdoor area. And
Yeah.
all our wood on our
Fix it.
outdoor area is Ipe it's called, which is the
Yeah.
hardest wood in the world.
Yeah.
And doesn't crack, splinter, or anything. But she apparently got a splinter in her leggings, so we got a 2-star.
Yep. But she loves our beer.
And that's the thing. It's like, I've seen people leave bad reviews on a venue because the band was bad.
Yep.
It's like,
Yeah.
are you that dumb?
Oh, yeah.
That you know? It's like,
Oh, it's very entertaining.
But
yeah, I bet you guys see some good ones.
I've
Oh,
stopped.
we hear some
like,
great stuff too.
The,
It's
the Google
great.
I get because I'm the person signed up for it. But like Untapped, I don't get on that anymore. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
that ranking beer, rating beer, and listening to people's comments and all these experts, and
Yeah.
it's like So I don't even get on anymore, and it's just
I just play
drives me
stupid.
crazy.
That's the bonus of being a
Brew beer and
female.
enjoy
And
it.
at the old
Just play
place, I was
stupid. And then they'll tell you something. You're like, oh, wait, really? I didn't just say that to you 2 seconds ago. You're right. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Dudes are the most gullible creatures. All it takes is a girl going, well, tell me more. You know, and you're like, well, I was 3 when I, you know.
Oh, I
my
can't tell you.
God.
I'm telling you at this point, I think there should be a bartender tax where you get some form of like therapy time. Like if you can do a tap in and be like, I am currently your therapist. Let me collect this extra $2 an hour. Like,
Yeah.
let's go for it. Because there's some people and they come up and they are completely oblivious to the people around them. And they just will tell you about their brother's uncle, cousin who just got a new dog and they don't know how the beer ties in, but yet they love it and da-da-da-da-da. And then how about, are you single? Do you have a cousin's cousin?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh my gosh. It's
I
very
feel, yeah,
entertaining.
bartending is not, I've never done it, but I've seen it in real life before. Dude, I can't do it. I can't imagine.
I'm gonna give you the line my first boss gave me. A
I'm
customer
excited.
is not an interruption of work, but rather the purpose of work.
Oh, there we go.
true.
We're all getting that tattooed on us somewhere. I'll get that on my other ass cheek. It'll be great.
Left ass cheek.
Can't
Golly.
wait.
So
When people ask about our customer policy, hold on.
hold on. So as far as the brewery itself, what do you feel what is your main attraction? What would draw somebody in there? What do you take pride in, other than the brews, obviously?
Well, that's what I say. If you don't have a
Yeah.
good product, no one's going to
Exactly.
come.
Yeah.
There's been, I think, 2 breweries that opened after us in Roanoke, and you know, excited to open. Probably didn't take their time to basically get their craft done correctly.
Sure.
And made it 6 months and closed. So,
Yeah.
number one, beer has to be solid, or
Yeah.
whatever you're making has to be solid, and then everything else is.
I would say number 2 is our staff. Like I come from a lot of different places and a lot of different backgrounds of bartenders and
tell us about
breweries
that.
and
Yeah.
everything. I think this staff that I work with now, they're all Cicerone certified.
Nice.
They all know about the beer. They all drink the beer. They love the beer. Like as soon as you get a staff that can do that and actually knows what they're talking about and they want to educate you, I think that's the easiest tool right there.
There's
It
nothing
makes my job
worse.
easy. I don't have a complaint in the world.
For me, if I go in knowing I don't know nearly what I should about beer, I just enjoy it enough. I like it.
Yep.
But if I go in and I ask somebody, it's like, hey, you know, I'm looking for something, this, that, and the other. I'm having pickle chips. I'm having this
Yep.
and all that. What would you recommend that you guys have? And they're like, oh, you're having a light appetizer. Let's do the porter, this, that. And
Yep.
I'm like, I'm outside.
I don't
It's
know how we're
85
doing this.
degrees.
Pickles and porter.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what, you know, and I've asked, you know, it's like, this is an interesting hop, you know, that it's very what do you know what they, you know, and they're like,
Oh yeah, no.
it's like, oh,
And that's what I always tell them. If you don't know, text me. Ask
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
Yeah.
We make little cheat sheets that I put up. I'm a sticky notes girl.
Okay.
So if there's something new and they want to know, like I'll put little sticky notes up and let them see like what hops are there,
Yeah.
what you should taste, what's going on with it, and after that, it just sells for itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've had the same staff for a long time. We have
Yeah.
very little turnover, which is nice. So,
I've learned a lot from them.
yeah.
It's really awesome.
It's important because if people are going somewhere and they're spending, you know, time is valuable anymore. You know,
Yeah.
everybody's so busy and we're going
And lots of
a million-
options now.
Oh,
after
yeah.
COVID.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. So, you know, having a staff that's friendly and is knowledgeable and in a venue that is, you know, appealing. It just it's vital. You're just not going to last, like you said, you know. Doors will close if you don't have every aspect. You can have one that's just off
Yep.
and it's like it's going to be short-lived.
Oh, 100%.
and I think it's a welcoming looking place. It's a cool looking place.
Yeah.
The outdoors is a big attraction. Like I said, I absolutely had to have that wherever
Yeah.
we were going. And then the live music, I think is,
Oh, it's
and you know, we and then we do get complaints about, well, you have too much live music. It's too loud.
Yep.
You know, we'd like,
Are there
sometimes we-
days you do it on, or is it
Friday
kinda,
and Saturday always.
Yeah.
Occasional Sunday, occasional
Sunday and
Thursday.
Thursday, yeah. We rotate that through.
Like
we try
Sunday and
and
Thursday, yeah, or usually soloists or something
Yeah.
more chill.
I gotcha.
And with us having the outdoor space now, like it's just so much more inviting for everyone, because even if you're just walking down the street and you don't know what we are, you can see the music, hear the music, and that's going to bring you in anyways. Plus, to be honest, like, we're very dog friendly and very kid friendly.
So you can just come in, chill.
Oh, yeah. And I think a lot of people we've had a lot of parents come in and be like, we just get nervous bringing our kids because they don't know this, they don't know that, and we don't know how people are going to accept it. And I'm like, as long as they're behaved and they want to talk or sit down. I have had a baby on my hip behind the bar at one point because they were like, she loves you more. I was like, I'll take her. Don't tempt me. I will kidnap her. I need a litter of my own. I'll take them. But I think once they just see how inviting we are and feel that like energy that we have, it's really just a whole different atmosphere. Yeah. Because it doesn't come off. I think what's nice is we don't come off as a craft brewery. If the stigmatism that comes with it, like that hipster vibe and whatnot.
The roly-poly mustaches.
Exactly. We have such a wide demographic. You can have someone we have one guy, he comes in and he loves drinking Miller Lights and he drinks out of a Viking horn. He comes in and as soon as we see him, we know exactly what he's going to have. We pour 2 glasses, pour it into his Viking horn, and we have a good time. Then we go up to the people who are part of the Brewers Guild and they want to talk about the beer. They want to know about the beer. They want to see things, and it's just really awesome.
Yeah.
I like
so
it.
as what is your official title?
I am the taproom manager.
Taproom manager. So what does that entail? Obviously, you're putting together, do you run the day-to-day type operation?
Yeah, I would say more outside of the brewing aspect. Bryan and Chris are in charge of what is going on in the brew house. What I am doing is just trying to intermingle what they do and provide it for everyone to enjoy.
Okay.
So I help Bryan he'll set up the music. I'll make the graphics, the promos, the social media, try and get that out as much as possible, making sure our staff know what's on draft, making sure that we're stocked and everything, making sure that we have, even if we want to try something special or different, we'll throw our slushies out, all that. I got to make sure everything's running smoothly with that aspect. Plus, we have a private event room that we rent out.
Oh, nice.
So it makes it super awesome, especially with like graduation time and everything like that. I have to make sure that's all organized and set aside. So
sure.
Yeah.
You're busy.
I need like 3 of
She does
me.
a banging job of social media.
Hey.
Yeah, very good. And that's so important nowadays.
Oh gosh, it's one of the things that like I love to do for work, and then my personal one, I'm like, I don't even give a shit. I don't. You can see pictures of my dogs 90% of the time. It's fine.
I think it's changed a lot, as you get older and, you get more of a professional thing, like that stuff just kind of.
Yeah.
But for me, like my wife and I own a real estate business. And like that's so important. Our sphere, it's called SOI, our sphere of influence, is so vital. So like I force myself to put up, hey, well, we closed this house, we did this today, and I find myself now, I'm like, I'm just going to be a human. So I've stopped doing as much of that, and I'm just like going back to my roots and just letting it speak for it. People know what I do.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So hey, let's take a quick commercial break. This one is for my actual real estate business, and we'll be back in just a second.
Hello?
Hey Drew, it's Rob with Thacker Real Estate Group. I actually got your number from Brad. He had mentioned that you had a house to sell in Virginia.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we actually met. Yep, that's me. Hey, I thought you might want to chat. I'm in the area right now and would love to stop by.
Well, I'm getting ready to watch a video.
Oh, nice. What are you watching?
Oh, just some scary movie.
I love scary movies, actually. If you have time, I'd love to stop by and talk about selling your house.
Uh-huh.
The first time we talked, you said that you might have been talking with someone else.
No.
I know for a fact that you're talking to another realtor.
What did you say?
I said I know for a fact that you are talking to another realtor. You want to play these games, answer the phone like, hello, and all that stuff. We went to dinner with Brad and Angie like 2 weeks after that party, and you're sitting here talking to me about selling your house, and now I find out it's somebody else?
Look, I gotta go.
It just kind of hurts, Drew, I thought we had something. We had such a connection. I just want to know who. I just want to know who.
Yeah, Freddy Krueger.
No, that's more lies. I'm pretty sure that's what you're watching right now on TV. You can end it now. Just tell me who, Drew.
Tell me who it is.
The guy in the white mask who walks around and stalks babysitters.
Oh, I knew it. Oh my gosh. Of all the people that you could have used. Bye, Drew. Like, this is goodbye.
All right, as you probably know by now if you watch the podcast, these commercial breaks, since we do this and we record this live, are actually just built in so I can go to the potty. So I
have a shiwi. It's fine.
You have a shiwi in? Golly. Isn't that the thing? Wait, hold on. A shiwi?
Yeah.
Isn't that the thing that...
It's like a funnel.
It's a funnel.
It's a funnel.
Literally a funnel.
That's
It's a rubber
hilarious.
funnel.
That is hilarious. Do you actually have one?
I do not have one. I do not need one. I'm actually a professional outdoor peer.
Well, you can be inside here.
Oh, perfect.
So you should be good.
That helps me a little bit.
Can I get some technical help over here?
What did you do?
Oh, there it is.
There you go. Yeah, we're back.
I don't even know how that happened. I can't see it, so I couldn't fix it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
over here flipping.
Gosh, your poor eyes, man. Pull that one a little bit closer if you would, Brian.
Got it.
All right, so we're back, and we just did the OJ special, the White Bronco. Tell me a little bit about the hops and all this.
All right, that one is I'm not a big, like, I don't like to throw 9 different hops in a beer, so
Sure.
I'm generally 3 or less. So that one is Citra, Mosaic, and Eldorado.
Okay.
And to me, it's a great combo.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of flaked oats, flaked wheat, which kind of gives you that hazy, soft mouth feel.
Very soft. I was going to comment on this one. This one is definitely silkier. Yep.
And it's like 30% of the grain bill. So,
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's and most of our IPAs, hazy IPAs, kind of have that same kind of grain
Gotcha.
bill to it.
Yeah.
Do you guys go through any cold, prepping for filtering, for filtration?
We do. Everything we
Dropping
do
stuff.
is cold crashing.
Yep.
So we don't
Okay.
have filters. We have unit tanks. We have one bright tank. So usually a lot of places will transfer from the fermenter to the bright tank and let it
Gotcha.
clarify
Just
there.
let it do its thing.
Yeah.
We do use something called biofine in like lagers and stuff like that. Our
Okay.
IPAs we don't find at all, but yeah, mostly cold temperature and time.
Cold crashing them.
Patience.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you have any beers currently that are like on a 5-year plan? You know what I mean? Something that you're setting, that you're really aging, that you've got something in
We've
mind
got
for.
several
I was gonna say.
big beers. So we were talking about Lewisburg earlier. Been a fan of Smooth Ambler for a long time. We
Okay.
actually bought our canning line from the brewery across the street, Greenbrier Valley.
Greenbrier Valley.
Oh, okay.
R.I.P.
While I was there,
Yeah. I never went there.
picking it up, I saw
they just closed.
Smooth Ambler across the street, and I thought, oh, I'm going to go over.
It's bourbon too, so of course you said I'm gonna go over. He said, "Oh, I just gotta go."
So,
So-
just curious.
Yeah, I just popped in. And I said, hey, any chance you have some dump barrels you're willing to get rid of? And asked who I was, and I told him. It was real cool. Andrew. Shout out to Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
And really great deal on them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say how much because it's my little honey hole.
Yeah.
But anyhow, he sold me, I think, 5 barrels, and I had a thing to put the canning line anyhow. So threw them on there and been going ever since. So for about
Nice.
5 years. So we've got a Russian Imperial Stout
Yep.
and a barley wine. And I think the
Ooh.
oldest, the one, barley wine's been in one for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we just dumped a couple. We have a Imperial Stout right now.
Yeah, we have one on
Smooth
draft
Ambler.
right now. The
Yeah.
Dying Days.
And with them, they were sourcing at the time, so it could be Dickel, it could be.
Yeah.
I think the ones we got were Dickel.
Yeah. So we went, we played a show. I was, like I said, I was with Craig Morgan for years. And we did a lot of cool stuff. And one we did was at the Maker's Mark brewery, or the distillery. And as part of it, they were like, hey, we've got some barrels and stuff. And Craig took one for his house. And I was like, yeah, I'd love one. I was like, Craig, can we throw this in? He was like, yeah, get you one. So I got it. We got it back to the house. I had nowhere to put this
Oh
thing.
no, and they're heavy.
And they were
are
so heavy.
Yeah.
So I got it in my front door, and then I was like, well, if I'm gonna age a beer in this thing, I'll have to make like 5 batches at the time. You know what I mean? I'm gonna put it in this closet because it's temperature controlled. It'll just be nice. And I went to the closet and went,
Yeah, it wouldn't fit.
eBay.
Yep.
Well, it's like, who wants to buy Maker's Mark, you know?
100%, yep.
Sold it to the local brewer. So I didn't have anywhere to put it. I owned a
Yep.
screen printing business at the time, and or I'd have had a garage or something. So,
Yeah.
but so when you talk about big beers, you know, is that something, a specialty you guys focus on?
Not so much. To be honest, like IPAs, kind of, we joke they pay the bills.
Sure.
And everything
Yeah.
else kind of just
It's fun.
variety's sake. Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
just to give a variety. You know, we've got, 4 dark beers on right now. And,
Yep.
Okay.
and they're by far the slowest selling. You know,
Yeah.
I'll do 10 barrels and it'll honestly last 6 months.
Yeah.
Where 10 barrels of White Bronco
We'll go out
probably
easily,
lasts
yeah.
us maybe 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say, not even a month.
And it's a different beer at the end.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
those 6 months,
Yeah.
it's changed.
Oh,
The
yeah.
good thing about dark beers is, they kind of,
They last
Yeah.
for a
I
good
love
bit.
'em.
they hang on.
Yeah, I absolutely love a good dark beer. I did one. It was called the Circus Freak, and Circus
fun.
stood for, oh my gosh, Chocolate Imperial Russian Uber Stout.
Ooh,
So
yum.
it was a roaster. What is it called? What's the chocolate
A
thing?
roastery?
Roastery. Is that right? Okay, from Nashville. And it was a heavy one. It was a 10, maybe 9.5, 10%. But it was one of those beers that was so smooth. And in 5 years, I think I cracked my final bottle, probably 5 years later, and that thing was fire. 5 years in on an already smooth beer to me is like the sweet spot.
Oh, yeah. It's a honey hole right there.
Barley wine, you know, all that. Do you guys do any mead? Have you messed with mead at all?
I have not. One time, so I grew up in the Star City Brewers Guild in Roanoke.
Okay.
So, and speaking of them, I think there's probably 5 or 6 breweries where we were all members of that Star City Brewers. But anyhow, we would do quarterly competitions, and one time was mead, and
Okay.
and mine was rocket fuel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Got a little,
I did a
got
gallon. Yeah,
got
it
a little
was-
nasty on
Did
you.
it burn the hairs off you?
It was something. So
What's the process?
It's not my
Honey
expertise.
and
Yeah,
yeast,
yep.
right?
Yep.
And what did you
A
do?
little
You
bit
just
of water. It just I got too dry, and just fermented out too far. And,
okay.
I mean, it was like original gravity was like 1200.
Good.
And it finished at 1020 or something like that.
Okay, so it went. It
Yeah,
got some
Yep.
alcohol.
Yeah, it
Yep.
was just not good. But there is a meadery in Roanoke.
Yeah,
now.
they're.
Oh, really?
Atheling, and the
Yeah.
stuff he does is really. It's where
Yeah.
Roanoke Rail House used to be behind
Okay.
the tire place there on McClaney.
Do they have a tap room there? Cause
He doesn't. I don't
Okay.
think.
Because Hope just went gluten free, so now I have to
Yeah,
adjust.
but you would never know he was there. But,
Oh yeah. How's the gluten work within the thing? Do you have people that
yeah.
Well, I mean, we have seltzers. That's our main
Okay.
focus
Yeah.
whenever we do gluten free stuff. We aim the seltzer route, and we have such a variety on that. It really helps. a
Even
whole
then, we
lot.
can't say gluten free.
Yeah, because it's brewed technically in the same,
same hosing.
Yeah.
Same,
makes sense? How does the seltzer life work?
Ours is called "See What You Made Me Do" DEW.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
as a brewer,
Yeah.
that's the last thing
You just have
brewer.
to.
You want to
Yep.
do?
Yeah.
Oh, I
So-
have to remind him whenever we're low. I'm like, okay, we got to bring it back
But-
sometime. I'm
So
sorry.
we didn't even start making it until 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and I'm already on batch 19.
Oh, so it's popular.
Like White Bronco, we're
Damn
on
it.
batch 10,
I know it's frustrating.
and it's so easy. It's sugar watered
Yep.
yeast.
Really?
That's all it is. And then we
Yeah.
just change the flavors.
Then we buy this fruit puree from Amaretti,
Mm-hmm.
and we
Just-
flavor each keg, and it sells like
Roll with it.
hotcakes.
Oh yeah, our
That's
Cinco de
wild.
Mayo, we just froze our margarita one. Had
That's cool.
slusheritas.
So are
It's
they?
great.
What's the alcohol content on the seltzer?
5.5.
5 to 6 generally.
Okay.
right? Yeah.
So I got a little kick to
A
them.
lot of places like Parkway will do it and make it like 10%, and then they'll water it down at
I got
packaging
to
or something
concentrate
like that.
a
Yeah.
little bit.
And the big thing with seltzer's hard is that because there's no nutrients, the yeast throws off the sulfur compound.
Oh yeah.
And it's hard to get rid of, especially if you don't have a filter. Like
Sure.
we don't filter. So, we've gone through several different yeasts and finally found one that's
Not as
specifically
eggy.
Sure.
for sugar fermentation.
Seems like a Belgian would work.
Yeah, and a lot of people use that. I don't know how you pronounce it. Vic, Kveik, that Norwegian.
Okay.
Yeah, they do pretty successful. But now there's nutrients, so now we just
You
throw
just
a
throw
ton
it
of
in.
nutrients in there
Yeah.
for the yeast.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, we've actually applied for our winery and license.
Awesome,
So
man.
hopefully by next month we'll have our winery license.
Yep, that's the game plan.
What's your goal? What are you gonna?
We are kind of like with whiskey. We're going to source it.
Okay,
We don't actually have to. We just have to do something in the process.
sure.
So packaging
So we'll
is in the
barrel
process.
it and all that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll probably do some barrel aged wine,
that's fun.
4 or 5
That'll be
wines.
really tasty. I'm excited.
Yeah,
Yeah. So we have a winery picked out that we're going to work with, and not getting much luck with cideries. Is that what you call them?
Logan, look that up.
Yeah, Logan.
I've called,
Pause.
Ting, ting, ting.
Cideries.
I've called a few and gotten no response. So, I know Bold Rock does it and stuff like that, but I was hoping to get something more crafty.
I got you. Yeah,
Probably have, 3 or 4 wines and a cider. I'd be happy just to
that's good.
be able to
Yeah.
be able to get that crowd.
Cider maker.
Cider maker.
That's all it is. There we go.
Wow.
They're
Way to
official.
be boring. Right. So your goal is, just a one stop. You
Yeah.
kind of can grab
And
Yeah.
everybody.
originally to do it, we thought we'd have to get a restaurant
Food,
license,
yeah.
and we were going to put a pizzeria in. Basically, the apartments next door we keep taking over.
Just keep
Keep knocking them
grabbing
out.
slots.
We were going to do
I'm on
that.
the third
but-
floor, so it's fine.
Just
Take them all
cut
out.
under.
Yeah.
You'll just have a fire pole.
As
come
long as
straight
it's
down.
under my room, just take all those.
My family's been in, my parents and aunts have been in the restaurant business all their lives, and I really didn't want to do it, and went back and forth with my ABC agent, and he got frustrated with me. He's like, all right, so Bryan, what is your end goal? I said, I just want to serve wine and cider. He
Yeah.
goes, well, then why don't you just get a license? And I'm like, because I
Well,
don't
then
make wine.
Exactly.
He goes, you don't have to. I'm like,
This would have been great information a
6
year
months
ago.
ago.
Restart.
so, it's like $200 for a wine
Oh.
license. Yeah.
That's good.
So, I mean,
Liquor game's different though.
Oh yeah, that's a whole different ball field.
yeah, talk to the Brady brothers about that. That's,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, so that's our new thing, and that'll be interesting.
That's good.
Might go
man.
do some wine tasting this weekend. I'm not a big wine person
It's
myself.
called
but-
work trips. That's what he meant to say.
It's a write off, is what
Yeah,
it's
Yeah.
called.
It is. Yeah. My drinking is a right.
Exactly.
That's great.
As long as we talk about beer during the meetings, we're good.
I
Yeah.
have to keep reminding the accountant of that.
Yeah, right. I went through my phase where I just loved wine. We spent a lot of time on the West Coast, so we'd always go to the wineries and do the tastings and all that stuff. And I'm a huge music fan, so obviously I knew Tool Maynard
Oh, yeah.
had the
Yeah.
big winery and all that stuff. And I never made it to his actual spot, but I've had his wines.
Oh, fun.
Gosh,
Have,
it's so
have you
good.
seen his thing on YouTube about it? His video.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
Somebody
have or
interviewed
not.
him at his winery, and you wouldn't
know
even
if I have.
recognize him. He's dressed like a normal person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen. Steve-O had him on his podcast, and there's been a couple that have had him on there. And I mean, he's Maynard, so he's an anomaly. He's his own creature, but he is
Yeah.
knee deep in it.
Yeah.
For lack of better terms. But I don't know. I respect it, but to me, gosh, I never got that much of a palate for it. I understand beer
Yeah.
far more than if they're like, tell me which one's a Malbec and which one's a Cab, and I'd be
Yep.
like,
Nope.
Yeah. And like I'm a
crapshoot.
certified beer judge. And,
Yeah.
So I could be blindfolded and taste a beer and tell you like what it is, or
Yeah.
But like with wine,
No
I
clue.
would have no. I mean,
Oh,
I
no.
could probably tell it's a red or a white.
What's that? There's
Yeah.
that scene in one country where it's like, I'm tasting grapes. That's
Well,
100%
no shit.
accurate.
Except on their sheet, they always put cherries and blueberries, and I'm like,
Like, huh?
it tastes like
It's
any
got a
cherry.
back of a mulberry with an elderberry front.
Exactly. Did
like,
you
oh my God.
smoke this?
French oak. How do you know it's French? Did it
There you
speak
go.
to you?
Did it speak to you?
The craft industry in general has some weirdos in it,
Oh,
man.
God.
Like, a lot of, we saw, especially, master brewers and stuff like that. They're just scientists at,
Yeah.
at the end of
Oh,
the day.
yeah.
They're mad scientists without the degree. Most of them don't have a degree. Some of them do.
Yeah, I have no professional training.
Yeah, which I
I'm
prefer.
learning,
Yeah.
I'm like a cook. I'm not a chef.
Yep.
I'm a cook.
Yeah.
Yep, there it is.
And that's ideal in my opinion.
Yep.
But I feel like you could think about it too much, and a bunch of it, listen to people talk. We've done the brewery tours and all this stuff, and I'm like, but why did you do it? I want to hear
Yep.
why. It's like, yeah, I know you did it. I can taste it. You did it. But why? What made you do that? Is it
Like, did you like this part of it? Did you like that part of it?
yeah,
Blah,
where
blah,
did you
blah.
source that? How did you, I kind of like hearing those type
Yeah.
of things. So,
I think what's really awesome is Bryan is probably, I come from a place that does a lot of local stuff, but like for a bigger city, I have never. He works with as many people as he can in the community.
That's
like we
awesome.
just did a cream ale. I'm spacing on the name, but the elderberry that we used in it,
Save Lick Farm.
Save Lick Farm. Thank you.
Okay.
We did that to help fundraise for a public property that they did farming and everything on in the middle of the city.
That's cool,
We
man.
took the elderberries that they grew in that plot of land and put into the beer,
That's
and
cool.
it's just one of those things that you want to connect everyone into it. Like that's the whole point of beer. Beer was made to enjoy with friends and family, and that's how this
And the
community
story,
works.
man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Done.
If you're sitting down with a beer and you're like, oh, that's a good beer.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, well, I was on a trip and I found this place that had these and then this. And, you know, the yeast, this is like the third generation of,
Yep.
instead of it just being like, well, we used White Labs and we did, you know, it's like, okay, cool. You know,
Yep.
you read it in a,
Read a book.
you
We
read a book, you know, and you're like, yeah, that's cool.
Followed the instructions.
yeah,
Which
exactly.
obviously, you know, you do
have
to
to,
a certain
yeah.
extent. You have to do. There are certain things that are going to make a hazy IPA.
Yep.
There are certain things that are going to do that. But whenever you can add a story to it, that's just, I don't know.
That's what's fun. We had one, we did a sour we started implementing, they had originally started out and did an employee beer every other month or as often as they could get into it. So I wanted to bring that program back. So we took our oldest bartender and assistant manager, Nathan, and he got to make his blueberry, like vanilla graham cracker sour.
Ooh.
And he got to name it after his dog. So it's just one of those. And we took a
That's
picture.
cool.
They were sitting there enjoying the beer, and the dog was up. And it was just like one of those moments that you were like a full circle.
See, that's
and when
a
you can have
story,
that, that's
man.
awesome.
And that's my thing. People ask me all the time, can I come help or can I come watch? And I'm always yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I never say no.
Yeah.
And it's funny. Some people show up and you never see them again.
Yeah, it's
You know,
it's
there's
hard,
some work
man.
to it,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
on that small system. Like,
Oh,
you know,
100%. You got to move around.
you got to like take all the spent grain out of the, you know,
Uh-huh.
and that's sweaty and nasty. And, you know, the big
Chris
system
is
has a-
stronger than he looks.
Yeah. But, you know, it's kind of boring at times.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting ready to lose my contact. But, you know, it's just kind of like watching water boil a lot of times, especially on the big
It's-
system.
It's
But-
literally watching
Yep,
water
literally.
boil.
Yep.
But
We,
to me, the recipe making is the best.
That's
funnest
fun.
part.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
And I
know?
don't like people go, did you do this in a pilot batch? I'm like, no, I
Just
Yep.
did it.
just did a 15 barrel batch.
You kind of know at a
Oh,
certain
yeah.
point, it's like this many pounds of this will
Yeah.
equate to
Oh,
this
yeah.
starting gravity.
And start off with, you know, moderation with hops and spices and all that kind of stuff. You can always add more next time, but
Yeah.
you know, who wants to have 500 gallons of something you have to dump down?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh
What's
my God.
500 gallons cost to brew?
Depends on the beer, but
Yep.
generally
White Bronco.
$3,000.
3 grand. I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That,
Grain
that's
bill.
just in just in
That's
ingredients.
just,
So I feel bad when my grain bill's over 100. You know, I'm like, if I make anything heavy and for 10 gallons and I'm
Yep.
approaching 100, I'm like, you know, well, how many beers can I get out of this thing? You know,
Yeah,
I
and
start
like
thinking,
I try to get all my grain local too. So like we work with Riverbend Malt House in Asheville
nice.
for our base grains. Have for 3 years. So we're called a craft malt brewery,
Okay.
certified brewery. So the only thing that we don't use that isn't local is like our crystal malts, but I'm working on that also. But you know, it's just fresher. I think it's a better product.
Yeah.
Travels less. You know.
You crack them in house.
yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's my red sports car. I call it my grain mill.
You got you a big mill.
Yeah.
Is it red?
It's
Yeah.
red,
Oh,
Big
little red Corvette.
Shiny
Anytime
red.
Chris is in the back, he can't hear anything. Starts
Just
signing
dust
to him.
everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, I've got the weird allergy, man. I get stopped up with certain yeasts.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I always have. It's just a
Really?
weird thing.
From drinking it? Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And from brewing sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just,
My brother-in-law,
that's it.
my sister Beth's husband, he can't, he had the same problem. He would get all red and splotchy and
Yeah.
hives.
Yeah. I don't go that far.
So he quit drinking. And then one day, I think they were in Roanoke, and he just powered through. And like after 4, it went away.
It was good.
Yeah. So it was like splotchy up till the 4th one. And then all of a sudden,
And then his body just said, "Oh, we're gonna fuck with it."
And yeah, and I've read that because I've felt that before, like getting hot on my chest, and it's just some people just have a reaction that in time goes away, you know, to it.
Yeah. Lee, one of my partners, he's got some issue, GI issue. And
They
he's
call it
had
the flush, right?
Flush,
Yeah.
yeah.
all sorts of tests, and he just can't drink hoppy beers anymore. He's got to drink lagers, and even then,
Yeah,
it's
it still
had
gets
test
him.
after test after test, and
If you're not dying, man, just what's the problem,
Power
really?
through.
Suck it up.
Come on, bro. You like beer or not?
Suck it up, cupcake.
So I heard mention of a sour. Did you bring a sour?
Yes, we did actually.
Oh boy, Logan
This
likes
was
a good sour
This
too.
was actually we've always kettle soured, which is where you mash, you fill up your kettle,
yeah.
cool it down to like blood temperature, and then you pitch bacteria on top of it, and it has to sit at that temperature for 2-3 days while the bacteria does its thing and lowers the pH, and that's where you get the sour.
Okay.
And then you boil it like normal, and
To kinda-
add your
yeah.
and it was a 3-4 day process where our kettle was engaged and we couldn't brew anything else.
Oh, thank you.
So now there's a yeast called Philly Sour, and it's a dry yeast.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the first time we used it, and basically you just brew like normal.
Thank you.
Everything's normal. You brew, you pitch the yeast, and
Okay.
for the
So-
first 72 hours, something lactic in it lowers the pH, and then the yeast take over and finish fermenting it.
I've never done a sour, man. I've wanted
So-
to do one on a like home brewer scale.
Yeah.
But I've kind of been scared of it's okay.
I'm just gonna break things.
No, you can't break that. That thing's wild. I've always been scared of introducing, what is it called? Is it lactobacillus? Or what is it?
Well, lactobacillus
Yeah.
is the souring one.
Is the souring.
but
okay.
you don't want the other stuff.
The other
Yeah.
Band-Aid stuff, right?
Yeah, the
okay.
stuff that's like cabbage or
Yeah.
Yeah. dirty diapers.
I might have to look into it though. I'm getting ready to kick it back up. We're redoing that whole side, and I'm like, I want a brew station. I want my workout gear, my brew station.
There you go.
so I can do it
Ultimate
again.
man
But
cave.
they make
Yes.
that yeast for homebrewers. So if I was going to
Just
do it, that'd be the way
straightforward.
I'd do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me about this. What's special about this one?
It's called Open Secret. That's our sour series. So generally,
So did you open?
well, our big one. I had a
What's
kick.
the secret here?
I was gonna say.
I had a kick for a while where I was naming beers after oxymorons.
Yep.
So we
Okay.
have Open Secret. What else do we have?
You got a light dark beer?
No, you had something before
We
when
have
I
a
just came
bunch.
on. I know, but they haven't been on for
Weirdly
a while.
Normal.
Weirdly normal. There
It's
you
an
go.
Okay.
IPA we make.
Yep.
So I just went through. I had like 7 beers in a row that I named.
I
after
gotcha.
Oxy.
Mm-hmm.
But like so that's just our general sour. We try
Yeah.
to, for all the geeks, we try to get down to about 3.2 for a pH, which is pretty sour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we freak the crap out of it. So this particular version is strawberry, blueberry, and a little bit of rhubarb.
It kind of gives it more of like, because a lot of people they like the tartness, but some of the sours now where they're fruited so heavily,
Yeah.
they can come off like almost like spoiled in a way.
Sure.
I think the rhubarb in it gives it a more like savory aspect too. So it kind of cuts that in between zone.
Because I hate it. I've had a sour before that almost, when you open up your
It hits
refrigerator.
you in nose like back of the throat.
Well, like you open up a refrigerator and you've got sour fruit.
Oh yeah.
That kind of like cantaloupe, like, oh.
Yep.
And I've had some that have hit me like that before, and it's an instant like, ugh.
I think with this yeast that we started using too, it just brings a whole new different type of tartness that we didn't really have in the last one.
And I got to admit, I'm not a huge sour fan.
yeah. Hey,
To me, they always smell not good. No matter how much. fruit
they've
you
got
put
a
in.
little,
And it's that lactic.
just a little,
Yeah.
little dank to it. That's kind of expected.
A little sewery.
But we've done.
Kidding.
So I would consider this one closest to sewage
sewery.
as well.
Not like a city sewage, like a country sewage.
Like if you had a well and a
Like-
septic.
fresh fruit in the sewage.
That's
aunt-
good, though.
My aunt had water.
great.
Like her water from her
Oh,
sink.
there you go.
Always had like this funk
Yes.
to it.
Like a little
Yep.
sulfur
Yeah,
stank to
it
it.
Like the camp water.
Nobody would ever.
Like
Yep.
somebody's getting a perm in the other room.
Oh, 100%.
Mom
Or
would
like
bring a
the
gallon of
showers with
distilled
the
water every
copper.
time we went up there for things.
She's cooking them beans and that shit too. She got
That's
a pot boiling full
That's
of
the
sulfur.
flavor right there. What do you mean?
Baby, what's in them beans? Oh, that's that Mount water, honey.
Good well
Mount
water.
wa- mhm,
Why
that
are there-
well water. That's what I grew up on.
There's goats at the top of the hill, Grandma. Nah, that's just a little pokey.
Yeah, it's fine. It's protein.
You guys like Pez? You want some LeBron James? Anybody want a LeBron James Pez? I always
Okay,
try to
I am
offer them.
impressed.
I'm just
That might
telling
go
you.
good with the sour though.
That's what I'm saying. You might
No.
drop one in there.
Hey, let me see that can, Rob. Can you hold it for me?
Yeah, hold on. Where's that can at? Oh, here it is.
This is our generic can that we
Yeah.
when we don't.
Just a run of the mill can, huh?
We'll run 'em in.
We just changed that label a little bit.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, I love that
basically
logo,
like a
though.
miniature
That sunset logo just pops on everything.
miniature crowler label.
All right, and now I'm going to come grab it.
So,
Oh, you have your own can. We got one just for you.
oh no,
Might be 3 just.
friend tax. I'm telling you, man.
That friend.
How do you think I can't just keep giving you these beers?
Oh, so back to the sours.
Yes, please.
We just did a carrot cake.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man.
That's
So,
in the works right now. I'm excited.
Same base
for
recipe
it.
as this, but
I love carrot cake.
I needed
dude.
carrot juice.
Oh, you should have seen
So
him.
I bought a juicer 9 months ago. It's been up on
You
top
went
of
all
the cord.
in.
Oh, he hasn't touched it.
It was-
It's been sitting there, and I'm like, why do we have this?
So
Like,
I
what
got
is-
a 55-pound box of carrots from the Mexican grocer.
Okay.
Biggest carrots you ever seen. 5 inches in diameter, foot long.
Dang.
Juiced the entire box and got 3 gallons of juice. So then I had to go back.
Not happy.
I went back to ask the guy, and he looked at me like, "Seriously?" He's like, "No, I don't have any more carrots for you." So
Cut
I had
them
to
all, bro.
Yeah, I had to go to the co-op.
We need to find our dealer.
He's like, son of a...
Yeah, I went to the co-op. I got a box from them, that juiced it another 3 gallons. They wouldn't give me any more, so finally I've called Produce Source. I think it's called in Roanoke.
Brian,
Yeah.
you're
And the
on a
guy's
list
like,
now.
I'm like, do you have?
FBI list for
You're
carrot.
on a list.
I'm like, do you have 55-pound boxes of carrots? He's like, yes. Like,
He's out
We
here
got to
buying.
get rid of them. Nobody wants
no,
this shit.
like, duh. It's like we're produce sourced. So I went and I got that, but eventually I got 12 gallons of carrot juice. And this
You
is in
needed
a-
12?
Oh yeah.
Well, I could have used more, but this was for a 2-barrel batch.
Oh, geez.
So it was like I'd laughed 4 hours of my life I'll never get back juicing.
How long does it take to juice a 55
Oh.
pounds of carrots?
4 hours.
Plenty.
4 hours, exactly.
Yeah, 2 buckets, 2 white buckets full. And then we got more pulp than anything. That went to the farmer. But
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
so we did the regular lactic, got it fermented most of the way, and dumped all that carrot juice in. And it's the wildest looking thing you've ever
I
seen.
can't wait.
Pouring it out of the sample, we still got to put vanilla bean in it, and
I was going to say, yeah, how do you
vanilla
get that?
bean and cinnamon.
Yep.
You gonna, is there any lactose in it at all?
It does, yes. And if you do
We
use the
actually
Philly
tested
sour
it, yeah.
yeast, it doesn't like lactose. So
This doesn't.
Nope.
that yeast
Gum it up?
it just slows down fermentation.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Is it
Doesn't-
stall
We've
it?
got time though. That's what's
But we
nice.
throw
Yep.
some American ale yeast in there or something.
Just kick it back
Battle
up.
it out.
So it'll be interesting. It's the coolest colored beer I've ever done.
I was going to say,
Oh, I
did it
can't
take
even
on
wait.
that like
Oh, yeah, it's a-
deep, dark orange?
Yep.
That's going to be good, man.
I can't wait for these videos. Just wait. I'm gonna have him in a bunny suit. It's gonna be great.
Oh, it's going to be.
Yeah, we talked about naming it "What's Up, Doc." It's like every time you submit a thing to the state, it's $30 a label, $30
Oh,
a name.
is it?
Yeah.
Just to apply for it? That makes sense,
Yeah, it's
though. I got to make their
product
money.
approval. It's called.
Jeez, what were you going to say, Logan?
I was going to say, side note, this is delicious, by the way.
He likes sours.
Thank you.
Enjoying this.
Love sours. It really is. It's good.
And this one I don't think got quite as sour as
No,
normal.
it's not a start. The first one
Yeah.
we did.
It's approachable
And
for
it-
people that don't really.
I want to say it has 24 gallons of strawberry puree and 20 gallons of blueberry, and like I think we put 1 box of
Yeah,
rhubarb
one
in
of
it.
rhubarb.
First time I ever used rhubarb was at the old brewery, and I went all over Roanoke buying up the rhubarb
Yeah.
and chopping it up, and then we took the lid off the plastic fermenter and just chucked in
Chucked in rhubarb.
25 pounds of rhubarb sticks and
Yeah.
let it sit in there, and the beer came out fine. But cleaning that thing, cleaning out, and we had to like flip it over, and it was like trying to get eels. It was,
Gosh, I was going to say it gets real slimy, doesn't it?
it was
yeah.
disgusting.
The one thing that I regret as a kid growing up, my grandparents were salt of the earth. They always had, this is where I learned. That's how I learned to garden. How I learned a lot of stuff was from my grandparents, and my grandma would make rhubarb pies.
Yep.
That's exactly where this came from.
And when I was young, I knew what rhubarb was, and I was like, I'm not eating a rhubarb pie. And I wish, if I had a time machine, I wish I could go back and eat one of my grandma's rhubarb
yeah,
pies.
100%.
So good, and that's what this
they're
beer
so
was.
good. Yep.
It's called
Destined
Rose's
to be,
Rhubarb
yeah.
Saison. It was a saison.
Oh, okay.
So named after her. It went over really well. Sold pretty quick.
Yeah, that's great.
And I think
man.
fresh rhubarb. So what we use rhubarb puree. So somebody did all the work.
Sure.
And I think I like the stalks better
Yeah,
than the actual puree.
just a little freshness. I do get with this one, it's strawberry forward to me,
Oh, 100%.
like big time, and I enjoy that. I really do.
Yeah, and usually it's a lot more I guess it was a strawberry, but most of them are much more kind of milkshakey looking. Cause
Yeah,
there's
they get a
so
lot
much
thicker.
fruit in 'em.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I appreciate. Is that currently on tap?
Yes.
It is right now.
We actually just came up with the next one is going to be mango, cara orange, and
Yep.
coconut.
Yep.
Where do you come up with these?
I just like Google,
Yeah.
so if I had a bunch of orange puree in the thing, and I'll go, hey Google, what goes well with orange, and then it comes up with generally cooking
Sure.
channels, and
I mean,
I'll look, flavors are flavors,
Might as well try it out.
and it just tells you, like all these different. So I just look at them and go, oh yeah, haven't done that
Yeah.
yet. So
that's fun, man. That's fun. Every time like when we had Scott on, and it just drives me to want to brew again. I miss it so bad. There is just nothing like it.
I mean, if anything, why don't you just come down and brew with Brian one day?
yeah, really.
I'd have
Y'all
fun.
can sit up
Anytime.
doing little mini podcasts right there on site.
I'd be all about
I mean,
it.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'd have a good
Motion
time.
stout.
Commotion Stout does not. It has a ring to it, doesn't
Hold
it?
on now.
I'm liking where this is going.
I've got grain bills that I have. I'll share with you, and you'll probably no. But you scaling them and all that stuff. It might be something. I don't
And
know.
you know what I use? I use Beersmith. Just like
I was going to
brewers.
say that. Do you use Beersmith?
Yeah, and most of my recipes started out as 5 gallon, and then scale it up to the 2 barrel.
Yeah,
And just all you got to do is watch IBUs generally, because the bigger the vessel,
sure.
the more volume, the higher the IBU,
Yeah,
the more
Yeah.
IBUs you get. So you can't just linearly
yeah.
scale.
Sure.
You have to cut back on the hops. So
You could do the jalapeno one, Rob.
Well, I was even thinking
Habanero.
of having a
Habanero,
Big Lick
yeah.
circus. I'd be down for that.
yeah. Big Lick Circus. That one was ridiculously good. It was so good. It was big. I'll have to find my clipboard. It's got like all my recipes, and I'll show it to you after the show.
Yeah.
So as far as like, what's next? What are you guys feeling? I know you're working with getting your wine permit, or if that's the proper way of saying that. Are you? Do you have any concert series? Are you thinking about that side of things? Do you have food trucks that come in? I'm assuming. How does that work?
we do not. We work with.
Yeah.
We had a restaurant across the street, Tuco's, and then Beamer's
Oh, okay.
is on the other side of the building from us.
Yep.
So you got food.
We have
Yeah.
QRI codes. People come sit at their table, scan it, order, and they bring it right to their table. So
Oh, we'll get out of town
it's
then.
Yeah, you can't really
The
go
best
wrong
of-
with that.
Yeah.
not having to deal with all that
Yes.
stuff that goes along with the kitchen.
Exactly. I
Health-
think the
health
biggest
department.
thing, we've got some things coming up. We've got a Father's Day market that we're going to be throwing on. I'm getting that organized right now. It's going to be on that Sunday for Father's Day. We've got the block party coming up that we'll be having July 15th. We shut down the whole entire block.
Cool.
There's a
Salem
huge
Avenue.
concert.
Nice.
You can take your beers out and actually like in a designated zone on the road
Sure,
and stuff.
sure.
You can enjoy the concert, enjoy all of it for free. Like, I mean, beer and everything, obviously you got to pay
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
But there's going to be all kinds of vendors. Everything's going to be all local. It's going to be a really great time.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
need to get out to that. It's hilarious. It's the same story. Like when you have 2 kids, you try. We're so
Oh,
busy, and
yeah.
I'm like, God, I just want to get out. I want to do this. I want to go to comedy shows. I want to do all this. Have you guys thought about doing a comedy night?
We actually do comedy
Oh, do
nights.
you? Well,
Yeah, I was
you actually do
able-
do.
Yeah, we do.
We actually do.
We have, so I was able to link up with Johnny Camacho.
Okay.
If I butchered that last name,
Camacho.
thank you, Camacho.
All right.
He works with the Comedy Lab. He started that up down in Roanoke, and they are great. We try and do it every other Wednesday.
Okay.
Depending on the month, depends on like if we have things going on in the room or anything that time. We do have one next Wednesday.
Nice.
That you can come in, and it's fully open mic. Like he sets it up. He has his usual people, but if you want to try something new, if you just want to shoot the shit, if you just have therapy and want to cry about it on mic, you can do it for free. So
Awesome, man.
yeah, you just come down, sign up, and what's nice about it is we've organized it that it's on our hop days. So
Okay.
every Wednesday we pick one of the beers out
Day
of our
hop.
list. Yeah, Hump Day Hop.
Okay.
And you can get $1 off your in-house, but then you get 50% off your crowlers.
Nice.
So anything you want to take home or anything like that, we pick a certain hop of the week and you can have that. Today we have, so this week is American Craft Beer Week.
I was gonna say, yeah, I saw
And-
something about that.
Yeah, it's really huge. And each day of the week this week, we have different discounts. So, like today, where it is Hump Day Hops, instead of just having one beer offer, we have two beers offered.
Cool.
And then tomorrow, what is tomorrow? Thursday, Thirsty Thursday. Instead of us doing our happy hour from our typical 4 to 7, we're doing it the whole shift. Like the
Nice.
whole entire day, you'll get your happy hour special. We have trivia going on too. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's all kinds of different ones. Friday's 4-pack discounts. Saturday is side pour, sexy, what'd they call it? Sexy side pour Saturday.
It's a lot of S's.
Yes, it is.
You're supposed to have this with a
65 Saturday.
And then Sunday, obviously, will be a Sunday fun day where you can come and get all your growlers and your crowler fill-ups at a discounted price. So we really just want we want to get our beer out there in the best way possible.
Yeah.
And I think with this being a more like national, American-wide like situation, international in my opinion, but it's nice to connect with everyone else around us too.
Sure.
So. And plus,
Sure.
you get a discounted beer. Like, come
Yeah.
on in. Like,
And we
let's-
got fancy glassware.
exactly. Yeah, we
Do
do
you guys
have
have
fancy
cups with
glassware.
your stuff
We
on
do.
it?
All sorts of we have. them.
We've got pints with our stuff on it. We actually have this week, which is a special, is our American Craft Beer Week glasses.
Cool,
We have
man.
those up for grabs right now. They're about $5 a piece, so they're a steal in my opinion when it comes
Yeah.
to pint glasses. And it has a really awesome like etched glasswork on the outside. It's like bubbled outward.
What do they call
it's
that?
really
Embossed?
Yeah.
Or something like that, where it sticks out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really really sweet.
And that's
That's
in
cool,
collaboration with the Brewers Guild.
Yep.
Nice. So is there a pretty predominant like homebrew association
Oh,
around here
yeah.
that's rolling pretty
In
good?
Roanoke, it's the Star City Brewers Guild, and it.
It's
I hate to
huge.
say it's not nearly as active as it was like when
Yeah.
I was in it, but I think COVID
Yeah.
kind of ruined it.
We had in Nashville, we had Music City Brewers.
One of
And-
our owners is still heavily involved. Harry's still involved in it.
Yes.
Yep.
And then there's in the state there's the Virginia Craft Brewers Guild.
There's
with all the
also
craft breweries.
Pink Boot Society.
Okay.
It is a woman-based
Oh, cool,
group,
man.
and
Yeah,
they
that's
bring
cool.
all the women that are any part of brewing. If you're the manager, if you're the PR, if you're any type, they bring everyone together and teach women how to brew, what to learn, all that jazz.
Very cool.
Scholarships, everything. It's really awesome.
They even have their own hot blend.
Yeah, they do. It's really cool. Right now, this time around, I think it's pale ales that they worked on. I
That's
can't
cool.
remember.
Tell them what you called your beer.
Oh yeah, I went home. So each state has a different Pink Boot Society. So I actually went home to work with my Pink Boot Society, and I came up with a beer. It's a cold IPA.
Okay.
So we used a lager yeast in it and everything. So what's really great about it is you get those hot bite in the beginning, but you get more of that like lager traditional beer like in flavor. So
Okay,
people who
that's
aren't big
interesting.
Very
IPA
clean.
drinkers,
Like
it's
clean on the
very,
back
very
end.
clean. Yeah. And what was funny
That's a
about
fun
it?
balance, man.
It's really. I think
it's
I
the
thought it
new
was.
thing
Yeah,
with
it's the new
IPAs.
thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
I did 2 last year. I did 2 in a
Okay.
row, little batch, big batch.
I like to
gotcha.
call them the tailgate and IPAs. So that's
Yeah.
what I was going for. But they all were having us pick up names, and of course everyone's being all sweet and like rhododendron, blah blah blah. And then I go to put mine up there, and it's like frigid bitch.
And that's the one
I
they picked.
accept, I
And
accept
that's where we're
that.
at. So now we have it's Free Folk Brewery in Fayetteville, West Virginia. It's right
Okay.
there by the New River Gorge.
Yeah.
Love them. They are my homies, and they have it on tap right now. Actually, it's super tasty, super clean.
I've got to try
But-
one of those. I've never had
yeah.
one of those.
Yes.
Well, I
very
mean, we're gonna have to do one.
Well,
Yeah.
It's just
like I said, I
what we
did
gotta
2,
come
and it
down
is
to.
very easy. So it's basically a pill or like a lager
Yep.
grain bill. So
Yeah.
Pilsner, flake corn, or flaked rice,
Yeah.
and then hop the crap out of it, but then pitch a lager yeast, but you fermented it ale yeast, so
Yep.
it's lightning fast. But
Okay.
it's just, because lager yeast usually likes 50, but you're
Yeah.
at 68.
Yep.
And so you get the clean kind of fermentation out of it, but you get the nice hoppy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you crash it
pretty
and
neat,
do
yeah.
the
Oh,
typical
yeah.
And usually
stuff.
lager yeast finishes very low, so
Yeah.
they're a
Yeah.
little higher in alcohol, but you wouldn't know it. Sneaky.
I know
cool.
ours ended up being like 6.8 or something. I drank a lot of it when we had our party for it. I drank so much I forgot to bring some home. It was fine.
That's a sweet spot for me. If I like a good 6.5 to 7%.
That's
You know,
Same.
something that's not going to just
You kind of
destroy
gauge
you.
it out.
Yeah, but I'm like, 6-pack in, I'm cool.
Yeah.
You know, I'm riding and grinding.
See, one of my dirty secrets that I like is I like to.
Ron said, "Hold on, what type of show is
like,
this?"
what are you about to tell them? Don't tell them. No,
tell 'em that.
One of the things that I've always done done, and I've done it since because I started as just a bartender with everything, and I used to mix beers. Because we had
doing add like a porter.
So
what was it called? A black and tan?
Yeah, so we had black and tan. So what we did for our St. Patrick's Day party, we actually took the concept of black and tans, and I did a black and red ale that we had, our Irish red, and then our Russian Imperial Stout. We put those together.
Nice.
It was so good. And then we did a rotten apple. It was our sour. We did a apple apricot sour with that Russian Imperial as well.
Ooh.
And it really gave it like a dark chocolate, like...
I was going to say, yeah, what
It was
cut
so
through and what
tasty.
didn't when those two hit each other?
It was very, very good. But I think my favorite is if you take an IPA and a sour and kind of mix the two. So those are my usual go-tos, but...
Okay.
I have a sour IPA right now on tap.
Oh, yeah.
Not my favorite.
Not your deal. Not your deal.
She's a little tart.
Got a little stank in her.
Yeah.
I say
Luckily,
it's
it's a small batch.
I got you.
I say it's the beer Mr. Clean will drink. Because it's
Okay.
very grapefruity. Like, it's one of those, like, when you pour that first, like, fresh cleaner out, you get
Like
that nice
astringent.
grapefruit.
Are we fitting to clean up?
I'm telling you, it's actually very entertaining because a lot of the people that drink it are not the typical people that you would assume.
My 21-year-old seltzer drinking
she
daughter.
loves it. She
I'm like, what are you drinking, honey? I'm drinking a
it.
sour IPA. I'm like, what?
Oh, she
Who
got
are you?
pumped when
What
I
do
told
you-
her it was on like sale one day. She's like, "What?" I was like, "Yep." Okay.
So people can go in. Obviously, they can do their growler fills and crowlers and stuff like that. Can they buy the 4-packs and all that right from
Yeah,
your,
when
from
we
your
have them,
place?
Yeah.
we do distribute, so that kind of takes a chunk out of some of
Yeah.
the stuff.
I got you. Where all can people currently find?
It just depends. We're with Blue Ridge Beverage, so if they
Okay.
want it, I know we do some stuff in Blacksburg, Christiansburg,
Okay.
possibly place that used to sell homebrew stuff
We have a place out in
over
Smith
by
Mountain
right
Lake
behind
too.
Lefty's.
Okay. I got you.
What's that beer store called?
Is it the Cellar?
The Cellar.
6-pack? Yeah.
Possibly at the Cellar.
Yeah, there's a restaurant. Jonathan
on
said
drive.
at Smith Mountain Lake.
Oh,
There's a
Jake's
restaurant.
Place.
Jake's
Okay.
Place usually has us.
We do a lager. So my parents came to visit. We rented a house on the lake. We were out fishing, my dad and I, and this boat slowly goes by and it's got the SML black and white sticker on it.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm like, SML, Smith Mountain Lager.
Oh,
Came to my brain. So I
There we are.
came back to
it's
Roanoke.
a disease, Brian. It's,
Yeah.
it's a
really
real
is,
disease.
though.
I called up my rep at Blue Ridge because I knew they used to do that damn lager when Sunken City was around and they
yeah.
left and it was really popular. So I called up my Blue Ridge guy. I go, what do you think of this idea? And he goes, let me run it by. And he called me back in 5 minutes. He goes, golden. He goes, do it. So,
Let's make it happen.
so I brew it. And
Oh, it's one of our top sellers. It's crazy.
They just bought like
all of them.
30 kegs of it. And
Literally
wow.
all of it.
like 2.5 weeks ago, and he called me today about another beer that we brew for the Hotel Roanoke. He goes, what's the status on SML? I'm like, what do you mean? I said, you just
You took it
gave
all.
you-
He goes, well, it's summer. We need more. And I'm like,
Holy crap.
Yeah. I mean, and lagers take longer. So,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
so right now I have Heritage and a fermenter. We have 4 big fermenters
Yep.
and then 4 smaller fermenters. So, you know, I can't have lagers in my fermenters all the time.
Tying them up for.
But yeah, just, you know, one of the salesmen came in right after we started making it. And, I said, I think you'll like it better. I changed the yeast. He goes, Brian, people don't care what it tastes like. They like that it says SML.
SML. I mean, you're not wrong.
And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
thanks a lot. You know?
You're on a boat.
Hold up.
You know?
Listen here. Lie to my face.
So, thank you, salesman.
Yeah.
Man, I hope that's your sales pitch.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
So
that should be
that-
Smith
that-
Mountain
our
Lager.
Smith
number
Mountain
one.
Lager. It looks
cares
great
what
on
it
your
tastes
shelf.
like?
Looks
I
great
think
on
it's
your
really
shelf.
good.
Yeah, right.
It's got a different hop, like it's called Contessa that nobody else uses.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's super tasty.
Yeah, so
You did come
Contessa.
out. We have another one on right now. It's called the Big Lick Light.
Okay.
Oh, he killed it. The flavor on that is so light, crispy.
it was also,
Lightest thing we have. That's
It's
what they
also
always ask
lime
us. Give me the
squeeze.
lightest thing you got.
So I did a big batch, and everybody's been doing lime lagers,
Okay.
and I was like, I guess I better do one. So I brewed a big batch, and it's just a light lager.
Yeah.
And so before we did the liming, we had an empty 2-barrel fermenter, so we threw it over there and just carbonated it.
Yeah.
Called it Big Lick Light. And then the other one's got lime in it, and to me, it's my favorite beer I've done in a long
It's
time.
really
Really?
tasty.
I had like 7 Friday night. Well,
I was like, hold on, how many numbers we saying?
listening
Hold
to
on,
the
let me.
Whenever you say 7, it's really 10.
Yeah, it's like,
basically like that Mexican beer, but
Oh yeah.
You don't have to
gotcha.
have the lime floating around in there.
I got you.
But
like
yeah.
a light Modelo.
I went through a Modelo phase.
Give me some Clamato. Throw it right on top. Done.
I used to do those. What is it? Red Eye? What's it called?
Red Eye has the egg in it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Everyone always tells me it's a Red Eye. I call them, I think it's my mom. My mom always called them the poor man's Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
That's what we always called them.
It's just a beer and freaking
Like
V8 or something.
Michelada. I'm butchering. I have a holler accent, so everything I say is going to be wrong.
Make her water.
What is Mega Rotter?
Here, can I get that margarita?
Bless you.
So you want a margarita?
No, margarita.
Yeah.
So what's next for you guys? Like, obviously, we've talked about kind of the succession and how you're doing things. Summertime's always big for craft. Everybody's out, everybody's doing it. Is there anything special other than what we've talked about that you're dropping or that you've got on, for lack of better terms, that's on tap?
We're bringing back a beer called Friends with Fancy Persuasions.
Yep.
That was quite popular. I brewed
Heard
it
a
once,
lot about this beer.
and so we were supposed to brew it tomorrow, but we had a heck of a day today, so
Sure.
the grain never got crushed. So we'll brew it Friday, and it's just another hazy IPA with Citroen
Okay.
Galaxy, and people seem to love it, and so we'll bring that back. And we've got our 9th anniversary coming up in September, so
Yay.
there'll be probably most of that stuff that's in barrels is going to come out and get released.
We'll come out and live a little, breathe a little.
Yeah. But generally we do like a triple IPA that weekend and
Nice.
just try to.
You guys do any like Belgian ales or any
I do. I'm a big Saison
Yeah.
fan. So,
saisons? Yeah. I love that. Just that kind of.
and I like the alternative grains you can use in it. So like the batch we have on right now has
that burnout bright.
spelt,
Oh,
which is like
Never-
an old ancient wheat hybrid or something.
Yeah.
And we did I did two at the same time. I did a big batch, one with the spelt, and then a small batch with triticale, which is a wheat and rye hybrid.
okay.
And just use different Belgian yeasts and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. I like a good saison.
I do too.
I'm not. We did a triple. That always
Yep.
does really well, which amazes
We
me.
went
because
through it. That
it's like
act naturally.
8-9%, and people are gobbling it down.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
loving it.
Well, he makes it taste like honey. He acts like he doesn't know why people are drinking it. And I'm
Well, it's
like, do you
good,
like
Bryan.
sweet things? And he's like, yeah. And I pour, so it cracks me up when larger men come in and be like, give me the strongest thing you have. And I give them like a little 10-ounce glass in front
Yeah.
of them. They're like,
Yep.
man, you're going to have 2 of those and you're going to be sitting down for a minute.
That's what I used to do. There was a brewery down in Nashville by the house, and it had the best pizza. I mean, just some of the best pizza. But I'd go in and I'd be like, what's not on tap?
Yep.
And they're, oh, we've got this or we've got this. Well, they had a barley wine one night, so it's like $15 a pour or something, and it was this.
Yep.
It was like a 6 ouncer.
Oh,
maybe.
yeah.
But it was fire. It's those little things that I know exist.
Yeah.
I know you're hiding something back there. We all know that there's something back there that only the brewmaster is sipping on. Maybe the crew gets a little nip every now and then. But
that quality control.
And that's the
It
biggest
is.
thing is just keeping up. Like it's
Oh,
just.
yeah.
oh, bro, I can't
We're
imagine.
about to order another big fermenter. We got room for one more, and it's just.
You're gonna have to move them outdoors now.
Well, that's the thing, and you talk about what's coming next. We've had several people approach us about other towns,
Locations,
other
yeah.
locations in towns, and I know there's several breweries that
Looking
have
into it.
another
great,
brewery
man.
in Roanoke, and I just to me that doesn't seem
Yeah,
financially responsible, I guess, for lack of a better.
yeah.
So like we had looked at Buckhannon and passed on that, and now another brewery's taken that.
Sure.
And I wish I had now because when I hear all
What
the
all they're doing. Yeah,
incentives
all they're doing for
I was
him.
gonna say.
But-
I would pick
But
up
I
too.
want to be a good hour away for our next spot.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I mean,
And I want it to
Blacksburg's
be
starting to grow. I think.
outdoors.
But I was gonna say
big
you
outdoor
want
space,
the big music space. You want all that. Like we
Probably
could do a whole.
out in the country a bit.
Yep.
I got you.
You could do a whole music festival. That's the venue you want.
You ever been to Pro Renata outside of Charlottesville?
That's his.
don't
That's his
know. I
ground
don't
right
think
there.
so.
He loves that place.
So that's what I did for a living. I toured, with musicians and stuff like that. So if you ever need anything in that regard, I did all of the audio,
Oh, wow.
all of the,
Yeah.
production, that whole thing.
My biggest thing is finding sound
Audio
techs.
people.
Yeah.
Really?
I actually
Oh
went
my
out and bought
gosh.
a beautiful Yamaha sound system
And he brought so much
Yeah.
stuff in. Like people come
Thinking I
in,
would
they're like,
save
"You have
money
all of this."
from paying, like I'd pay Marshall Hicks. I love him.
Yeah.
He'd come bring all his stuff and do sound for $150.
Oh, wow.
But after a while, 150.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you have 4 musicians
So
in
then I
1
went
week.
and saw Marshall at Sound Decision.
Yeah.
And bought the whole system, and then turns
Yeah.
out none of us know how to run the daggone
Oh,
thing.
it's on my resume.
So I still
I'm
have
trying.
to get a sound tech, and he's still charging $150 whether he got his
know.
own stuff or not.
You know, it's wild. It's like I donate my sound like knowledge in my 20 years of college. I taught it at a college level in Nashville. I donate it to churches. Everybody else has to pay.
Nice.
Maybe we'll work out a beer trade,
There we go.
right? We'll work out a beer trade.
Yeah.
You
But
can just come on Sundays. That counts.
I know, right? It's Sunday. Yeah, it's Lord's Day. I'll just mix for you guys on Sunday. Well, I would love to come down at some point, bring the wife,
Yeah.
check out the facility, because shame on me, I've never been.
Yeah.
I've never been down there.
Yeah. It's amazing how much we hear that.
Yeah.
Because I'm a bit of anxiety on the weekend when there's lots of people.
Yep.
Yeah.
As anything, you kind of, you see what's not happening instead of,
Sure.
and there's times we get so crowded, and it's just like,
Yeah.
Oh, it's
like
insane.
Is it-
it's a shit show. And I'm outside's full. The line's going all the way through the beer garden, down the steps and onto the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is this line not moving fast?
Oh,
and I
I'm-
I
Yeah.
can't be there, and I've got to go. And
It's tough, man. It's a fine balance. But the good thing about it is that you're there seeing it, and you're not at an absent owner /
Yeah.
brewer.
Oh,
You
no.
know,
yeah, I try not to.
Out
you
of all
gotta
of
have
them,
you. You
he's-
gotta have you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's
I'm there
gotta
every
be
day,
time.
9 to
Oh, yeah.
4.
It's nice because
Yeah.
I think what's really cool is that with all the owners and everything, especially with Bryan, they all communicate. Like, I think I talk to them more than I talk to my own family every day.
That's good though.
But it's really nice because it's not even if it's just something little, we communicate with it. We set things up. It's like family. We have our strife and stuff like that, but everyone always comes together. We figure shit out and we just roll with it.
Yeah.
Which is really
You
nice.
have to.
It's finding an environment, especially being in work, it's really nice to be able to openly communicate with the people that you are working with.
Oh,
so.
you have to. We, ours was like on an extreme level because not only did we work together, but we slept in
Oh,
a
no.
Prevost going 70 miles an hour down
Nope.
the road to the next show. So communication was key. If anybody was the least pissed, like I was like, as a manager, as a tour manager, I'd be like, come here.
Like, we
Sit
out.
down in
Let's
the
take
back.
a walk. Let's take a walk.
What's going on? Figure it out. We
were
can't
talking
lose
about
you.
that on the way on 81 about Jared and them and how,
Yeah.
all the time they spend
Oh, in the
driving
van and
here
everything
there.
together?
And,
Yeah, no.
And they just got the van. So before that, they were
Yeah.
just, I don't
I don't think y'all could live with me. I think it'd be. I lived with men my whole entire life. I don't know if y'all could live with me.
I'm deaf in my right ear, so I don't,
Yeah, you
I don't
just
hear
go,
a lot of that goes on.
We're-
So
Thumbs
it's
up.
fine.
it's
Thumbs
probably
up.
good for me. I'm like the dull professor.
Yeah.
He is lying. I don't know who he's fooling. He's lying every weekend. He's always like, "You want to go out and do this?" No, Bryan, I have to work. Do you want to go check out this show? I mean,
No.
maybe, but it's like 11 o'clock at night. Yeah, I mean, okay, I guess. Yeah, I'll come out.
That's
and he's
good,
like, "Are
though,
you driving
man.
home?" No, I'm taking a scooter.
Yeah. I
Y'all
love
got
it.
scooters,
He loves
right?
I love them damn
scooters.
things.
Oh,
I'll
he
scooter
loves a
3.5
scooter.
miles home.
No way. What's that cost a man?
Not much.
No,
$7
it's
bucks.
cheaper than Uber.
Yeah, it's cheaper than
Nice.
Uber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's less
So
creepy.
long as the battery holds
Well,
out.
that's
you're in
kind
good
of
shape.
creepy. I don't know.
You're one
If you're
people.
scootering past somebody, I guess it's the look you give them when your scooter passed.
Yeah, I went somewhere. It was raining last
God.
month.
And
We was at our
scooter.
place, and the spot on
Yep.
Kirk's 3 blocks away or something.
Yep.
So I was like, Chad Nickel and the Loose Change,
Mm-hmm.
and I love them. They play at our place, and they were playing down there, and I told them I'd come, so hop on a scooter. It's raining, wet, and I'm cruising down Salem Avenue, and I go to take a left onto whatever the next street
Ooh.
is, and it starts to slide out from under me. And I swear to God, I'm 55 and not that coordinated.
Yeah.
But like one foot came off and hit the curb, and right back up on the back of that sucker. And I'm like looking around, nobody watching.
Damn straight.
Like someone's got that. Someone
I
catch that.
Came awfully close to biting it.
Well, let's do this. Let's take one more commercial break,
Mm-hmm.
pee-pee break for those people that know me. And then we'll come back. We'll do a little more taste testing, and then we'll call it a night, all right?
Okay.
We'll be right
Sounds
back in
good.
about 2. Everyone has a story, and everyone has a past that shaped them into who they are today. Do you wish you could sit back and listen to your loved ones with great expression and laughter talk about the good old days, how they got to where they're at, their love, their passion, and what made them who they are? Well, now you can. My Story is offering a service that will go directly to your loved ones and capture this moment in time. Let's listen to their stories. Let's watch their expressions as they laugh and as they cry, because life is but a journey. These are your words. This is your story. This is the mark that you left on the world. And leaving this gift for your family, for your grandkids and their grandkids, is one of the best things that you could leave behind. I know I wish I could hear my grandmother laugh one time, or to hear my grandfather's stories, or get some advice on the garden. And that's the whole reason that I wanted to offer this, is because these moments, this knowledge, it can be captured for generations to come. So Bryan lost his contact during the break. It's nothing crazy. He was talking about being deaf in one ear, so now he is blind in one eye and deaf in one ear. I hope Donovan's driving home.
Yeah, got my pupils dilated at 3:30 and jumped on 81. And
how'd that work out for you?
we switched drivers real fast.
I was going to say.
The car is limping along right now.
So while Donovan finishes her business up, do you anticipate there being any regulation coming at any point in regards to craft brewing? Do you see anything coming down the pike?
I have heard from my lawyer, ABC lawyer, that they're going to supposedly ease up on the distribution laws.
Okay.
Because we are right now in the 3-tier system.
Yeah.
North Carolina's not. I believe Maryland's not. But supposedly by next July, we'll be able to self-distribute up to, I think it's 500 barrels a year, which is half of my production.
That's good. That was good. Actually, I'm glad you mentioned that. How much do you produce a year?
We're right about 1,000 barrels a year.
Wow. How many 16 ounces is that? How many beers is that? Can we do some math here? I can't.
That's 20,000 half barrel kegs.
Yep.
Golly.
Or no, it's not. 2,000.
That's 2,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
That's a lot. What do you go through on a weekend?
Just depending. We usually kick about, I'd say 6 or 7 half barrels.
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
Chris comes in on Monday.
At least, yeah.
And that's his job, is to clean kegs.
And that's I'm just talking about like Friday night. That's usually what we go through. So typically that's the starting rate. Mm-hmm. It's impressive. We can fill out a whole pallet full of half barrels.
Yeah,
that's killer, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And especially if he keeps throwing out all these beers like he's doing. Like our Peachy Keen is flying off the shelf.
So you find people like the approachable, the cleaner, easier beers?
Yeah, some do.
Yeah, I mean.
So I think the golden deal is if we always have a light lager, and an IPA,
and a sour
that are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must
something
always
fruited,
have a sour
or something fruited. You don't even have to have it sour as long as it's fruited.
Then you'll probably be all right.
Yeah. Because I mean, obviously, not everybody that comes to see Jared or that comes to whatever is appreciating the craft side of things. They're just they want something approachable, something clean, something to drink. What's your best seller, you think?
Ooh, right now we have White Bronco on, so White Bronco is definitely the top seller. If outside of White Bronco, I would probably say our light lagers. Our SML just sold out. We finished the Bright Tank yesterday.
The seltzers.
The seltzers. Oh yeah,
no, we so do. Much. I see it in your face.
Those things though. We do. It's just I don't know what it is, but
I always feel like I'm stealing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's water, right?
$5 a glass. I'm like
the profit margin, man.
Yeah, it's like
it's insane.
The most expensive part is that daggone puree. That's not cheap, but like that for the actual brewing of it is pretty darn cheap. But
it can't be the same as all the hops and the grains, right?
No.
But the puree is expensive. A lot of places just use extract or something like that. We use actual real fruit puree.
Real fruit, yeah. We have to go down every shift when we open up. We have to go down and shake the seltzer kegs. Because if you don't, it just, all of it's in like the bottom. So when you shake it up and get it actually like the fruit mixed
that
around,
makes sense. I guess it does
it's
kind of
whole different.
just do its thing.
Not as bad as like the sour beer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those things settle. Yeah. All right, so where am I at here?
Speaking of beer.
You want to do the dark beer?
Oh, you got a dark.
We did bring you a dark beer.
My son crowlered that today.
Nice.
It's called Nose to the Grindstone.
Nice.
This one's my favorite.
So you're a dark beer.
Tyler Childers
I'm a dark
reference.
beer girl.
Okay. Tyler Childers.
I don't know what I did with my glass.
That's my hometown boy.
It's
over
going.
there.
Where's it at?
It's over there on the.
Hey,
Where
Logan, would you mind to grab that?
Took my contact out.
Next
actually take it
to the burning
I did.
candle.
I feel so much better.
Thank you, buddy. I was like, are you going to put that back in?
Thank
He
you.
was like, I'm feeling good.
Just gonna take it
I'm
out.
just
College
not going to
Donovan
say.
would just been, yeah. we're good. Just lick it, put it back in. It's
I
fine.
thought about it.
If it sizzles, it's fine.
I have astigmatism, and luckily, I don't require any sort of
Ooh, there you go.
anything.
My
So,
wife and my daughter both have it.
do they?
Yeah.
It's probably changed since I actually went to the eye doctor
Ooh,
when I was
pour these out.
10. But back
wife's-
in the
Like I'm
day, you
making a
couldn't
mess.
you couldn't get
Did it get warm?
A little bit.
you couldn't really get a good contact for
Yeah,
astigmatism.
I think my wife's had little weights on them or something.
That's
Little
wild.
weight.
That's odd.
I have astigmatism in
Up to
both eyes. That's why I have to
What
wear
you
my
looking for?
glasses.
I was about to use my sweatshirt.
Oh no. Well, what do we have? It's okay. Just let it marmalade.
If beer
some flavor.
if beer were a Monday.
If you're wearing
I remember I had made, I think it was just an IPA at some point, and I went to share it with my neighbor, who was my buddy, and I did the worst pour ever. He's like knocking on you over there. He's like, ding.
I'm so sorry.
But
I wondered why I was itching back here. I was like,
feel
what
somebody-
the hell?
But
gonna
I
go
poured it,
crazy.
and literally in a pint glass, I had like this much because I'd over carbonated this thing, and it was just like had all the big bubbles in it, in the top. I was like, I am so sorry.
That's the way it comes out of when you pour it out of the bright tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always try to, like, good customers, something coming up, I'll pour them some. Took one up to this one guy, and it was like literally a quarter of an inch of beer, and
Yeah.
he kind of looked at me like, what the fuck? I'm like, it came right out of the tank, buddy.
This is what
You're
this
getting
is
a
what the
preview
pros
that
drink.
Nobody else.
Thank you.
Exactly, the brand new.
Oh gosh, I can't wait for this one. These are my jams. So what is this? Is this a porter?
This
It
is
is.
Nose to the Grindstone.
Technically, stylistically, it's a robust porter,
Okay.
which
Let me take a look at it. Oh, you do the big dogs too.
throwing around
Yep.
fancy adjectives.
6.4 ABV, 39 IBU, robust porter. Check this out.
It's a chunky boy.
I like them in. Is this a 22? I'm assuming
32.
32.
That's
I
called-
came here to party.
They call our fancy tall boys.
That's called
like
a
that.
crowler, and so that's the new, like,
That's the new.
a lot of
jam.
the smaller breweries, if you can't afford a canning line, we
Yeah.
were the same way.
I mean, that's the way to go,
Fill
honestly.
it right out of the tap and then put the top on it.
That's nice. So those have a little top. You can just.
No, it seemed like
Oh,
Yeah,
you just,
we
Seamer,
do the
like a single can.
pressure. Yep.
And we bought one. We went to the Craft Brewers Conference in Nashville a few years
Okay.
ago.
Yeah.
And we were leaving, and the place had one left, so we bought it.
That's
Brought it back.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. A lot has changed, man. A lot of it's ever evolving. All the technology and how people are consuming the beer, like we were talking about earlier, and the ways that folks take it home.
Oh yeah, we have people. There's even people that come in and fill up growlers, and they have those special the kegerator growlers. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I low key have one, and I feel bougie to have one. I did not buy it for myself. Let me just throw
Okay,
that
I
out
got
there. But it literally
Excuse me.
has a tap handle, everything,
on it.
and a little like nozzle on it to help control the CO2 level and whatnot in it. Like
Did-
it helps.
You can carbonate it, or is
has,
No,
it has
just
like
serving.
a
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Has the little paint gun CO2 canister place
Yep.
for it. Yeah.
No way.
Holds
It's
really
like
impressive.
half a gallon or something like
Yeah.
that.
Hey, that's ballin', man.
It's exciting. Every time I take one out, I'm like, yes,
something
I'm
like-
that person.
And it's got the tap. So you're
It does.
You're
The
just-
tap is just right
Yep.
there. Just yep.
That's a party favor right there,
What's
man.
it called? Chris has one.
It's a Kegler?
I don't know. It's pretty
Kegler?
fancy.
Oh,
I think
Logan
it's a
pulled it
Oh,
up.
there you go. Logan for the win.
What's that cost a girl?
Nothing.
Well, yeah, what's it
Girl,
cost a
nothing. I was
boy?
going to say, hold on. It costs
Girls-
a girl nothing.
Dude, girls get free stuff.
This cost,
I'm sorry. I'm not going to complain.
$300.
This cost a young man $160
Yeah,
from.
that's
This is from the finest works of Amazon.
That's the one I have.
Okay.
yeah.
I accept that.
It's from.
I think that's very well.
It's from Growler.
You can
Works.
sticker it up.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Oh,
think
Growler
that's
Works
one
is the
Chris
way to
has,
go. Yeah.
All right,
Now
so
they-
tell me about this one.
This, trying to remember. I don't
been a
brew it all
minute.
that often. So it's just basically a robust porter, which means a little bit higher in alcohol, a little bit hoppier, a little more roast. So like people always go, what's the difference between a porter and a stout? Stouts are generally more coffee forward. Porters are generally more chocolatey.
Chocolatey, yeah.
Yeah.
And so we use English chocolate malts, which are really, really dark. So to me, they always are giving off coffee no matter what I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just probably the beer with the most different grains in the grain bill of anything I make.
Yeah.
Probably, I think it was
That's the best
eight or nine
variety,
different.
yeah.
It is very it almost has a smoky
And I get a little
grind to it.
like raisin. Or
Yeah, a
the,
little
like,
bit.
Dark fruit
For sure.
or monk fruit, not dark
I
fruit.
do
And
like
it,
that.
to be honest, it's getting a little old. Been around for 3 months.
She been there for a hot minute.
Yeah.
That's good though.
I think
But-
what's nice about it is that it's one that the mouthfeel and everything is not so heavy. Like you could sit down
Yeah, it's
and
clean.
at a normal night just come and grab a pint of it.
Yeah.
Like
it
a
is
lot of
clean.
people who like porters or stouts, but they don't want anything like crazy heavy to start out. I always point them this route.
This is my favorite Girl Scout cookie pairing beer.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Throw a little what are those Thin Mints? type
Oh,
deal.
there you go. You can't go wrong with that.
Have you done any kind of themed beers like that? I had a peppermint mocha chocolate milk stout that I brewed that was ridiculously good.
I have done nothing with mint yet.
It's hard. It's
I
gummy.
did.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What was it called? It was a horrible crashing failure. It was at the old place.
I was like, this is pre-me. I don't know this one. Hold on.
Oh, I did a maple bacon brown ale.
Oh, no.
And it was this coolest. It was the liquid sugar. What do you call it? And it had smoked bacon in it.
Okay. I was
So
going to say, how do
thinking-
you get that flavor?
Yeah, and it was real expensive.
Pig
And
ass.
so,
Pig ass.
so we did like a brown
Just the
ale, and
anus.
put that in there, and all the sugar gets fermented by the yeast. So,
Sure.
But it was like drinking ham.
Oh,
It was,
no.
it was so bad.
I like a good
You
ham though,
gonna, I was
dude.
going to say, you going to make some beans with that.
And it was
then.
funny. It was
Oh,
probably
dude.
the most polarizing thing we ever did because people loved it or they hated it. There was
Yeah.
no in
God.
between at all. It was, untapped when I used to give a crap.
Yeah.
1 star or 5 star.
Yeah.
There was no 2, 3, 4. It was
Ham beer. Damn, dude. I don't know. That might get a
We
1
might have
star
to
for
bring that
me.
back. Hold on,
I might have to
wait.
throw you out on Reddit for that one.
yeah. And then
Am I being an
Am
asshole?
I the asshole?
I just had a ham beer.
trying to think
Just
of,
throw him a bone.
Spiral ham? That's spiral?
Heavenly is pissed.
if I only had some cinnamon in it. It would have
Lord have mercy. Yeah, I don't think ham would taste good as a beer.
Okay.
I'm trying to
I wouldn't
remember
turn that down, though.
what
Hold
that
on.
stuff is
I
called.
would try it.
I would 100% try. We had a beer back home. Okay, bless this brewery. It was during fall time. Oh, God, what was it called? Babushka. Babushka. Big Timber Brewing
Okay.
made
It's a Polish word, isn't it?
Oh, my God. Yes. And I'm telling you,
Babushka.
the
Looks like a
best
hat, right?
description I have for this beer. They brought it out right before Oktoberfest, but we called it hot dog water.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm telling you, I am telling you, it was rough. Like it was to the point. So I did this Oktoberfest like event at this place I was running, and we used that as the chugging beer. So on the bottom of the steins, we had the big steins that you had to hold out. And then at the end of on the steins had little hot dogs tied to them. So as you're holding the stein, your partner eats the hot dogs, and then y'all have to chug the beer. And the whole reason I did it was to get rid of that
shitty-
beer because I could not sell it. I I called it like eaten wiener or something in German. I don't even remember, but
This is West Virginia.
Yeah, this is West Virginia.
Das
This is
eaten
what it-
wiener.
Das Wiener. Yeah, exactly. And it was just, bless their heart. They make amazing beer and they're
That one-
amazing brewery, but that one just.
That one just
To
didn't
this
hit.
day, if you ever were to walk into a bar in West Virginia and ask for the hot dog water beer, I guarantee they would have some idea.
That's
When you
wild.
said hot dog water, that immediately made me think of that pre-drinking thing I bought.
Oh, wait,
What is
the
that stuff?
powder stuff?
No, it's in a vial, and it's
So you won't
horribly
get a
expensive.
hangover?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And 3 of us took them. 2 friends and I took them all at the same time. And his wife goes, "Tastes like hot dog."
Oh gosh.
It's something.
No.
Oh,
dude.
Z-Biotics, they're
Oh,
called.
no.
Zbiotic.
No,
And it's
there's
like
no way.
$70 for a dozen of them.
What?
But it really does work. But basically, the
I feel like we're not testing
idea
that
is
right.
that
Should we
you're-
test that? Is
you're
that a challenge?
Hello?
your liver can't process. What is it called? Something in beer that's a bad fault. So this breaks it down in your stomach before it gets to your
the
liver.
liver.
And I have used it at Floyd Fest several times. And I mean, I think
Good
it works.
place.
I believe him,
That's what
dude.
he calls.
You take it
I
before
believe
you
him.
start,
I
before you
used
start
it.
drinking.
I used
you know,
it.
and
It
they,
came in a pill. I don't know. He just rolled with it.
and they say,
He's the dealer. He's the local
Speaking of
dealer.
eye
at,
dilation, did you
anyone
have
going
some
to
before the
Floyd
show?
Fest going by, just look for your local dealer.
and I should be in their commercial because I rode that bitch hard. Because they're like, take a Z-Biotics and drink responsibly. And I took
That's
a
a new
Z-Biotics
beer.
and drank,
Z-Biotics, rode by the.
drank from
Rode hard.
10 a.m. to 2 a.m. and woke up feeling like fresh as a daisy. the
Oh
next day.
damn! I'm gonna have to invest.
I have some. Yeah, I'll
Oh,
give you a
okay,
couple.
perfect. There we go.
He'll give you some of that.
I
I
can't
always
wait.
forget I
we
have
can
it.
test them out tonight.
It's like up in the cupboard. It's too late now. We've already started.
Yeah.
Started. Okay.
But
already over.
like I stopped getting it. And I immediately got an email from the owner. He's like, "Were you not satisfied?" And I was like,
No, it'd be like
"Yeah,
they
I
were
liked it. I
awful. You
just-
should probably send me more.
You might want to put another flavor in there, but other than
If we could get away from the processed
water.
meat flavor.
Exactly. If we could.
hot dog water. I mean, if even it tastes like a straight hot dog, that would be an improvement over hot dog water.
Damn wiener
I mean,
water.
agree.
man.
That's just a tease at that point. Like, just give me the hot dog.
But it does work.
Just make it like a
Just give me.
jerky that you
Come
eat.
on.
Z-Biotics. The name is Bryan Summers. Roanoke.
www.
Every bourbon.
Hashtag
Every
Yeah.
bourbon
new sponsor.
YouTube video I watch, they're always the sponsor. Z-Biotics. So that's how
Why
I
can't
got
we
it.
Because your
do
phone's
this?
listening,
Why
man.
are we not doing this? we could
ADHD
100%
whiskey.
do this.
He did the thing for it, and I was like, oh, I'm buying some. So got right on and got 15% off, and got my case of them or whatever the heck it is. And
Case.
I've still got like 6 of those little vials left, and
That's
they're up in the
wild.
cupboard, and I always forget they're there. And then the next morning, I'm like, son of a
We're gonna have to put them in our like medical. You know how we have that med pack in the brewery. We're gonna have to put them in there for like certain assholes that come in. And be like, look, man, you
Here
gotta-
comes
something's gonna
Chad.
happen. Something's
You know?
gonna happen.
Chad finna throw down on the Miller Lights out of a shoe.
yeah.
Give him some Z-Biotics.
Oh yeah, they got
I'm-
it drinking out of a horn.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I love him. Oh God, no, I love him. He is the sweetest man.
But he's drinking Miller Lite. He isn't gonna.
I know, but he drinks
That just
our
makes me
beer out
pee.
of that
He's
horn.
not gonna have too many issues.
Yeah, so I
I
looked
literally,
he'll be
I have
totally
a picture.
fine.
There's a picture that I have with a mark on it on the side because he drinks the Burnout Brights, the saisons.
Mm-hmm.
He loves those, so we'll get that. Fill up the pitcher to the amount that fits his horn, and just pour it right in.
Nice.
That's perfect.
Great, yeah,
You have Saisons on tap right now?
yeah, we do a
Everything.
Burnout Bright. It's
That's the one. Okay, that's right.
So good, super tasty.
That's named after a homebrew recipe from like 8 years ago.
cool.
Some famous homebrew person died, so they did the Big Brew, which is
Yeah.
the National Homebrew Day. They did a saison recipe and named it Burnout Bright after
That's
him.
cool.
Died young. So
Has like a really nice wheat finish. So a lot of the times, like our selling point for it would be a banana Blue Moon. Like if you
Okay.
like some Blue Moon, but the banana,
Banana.
comes through a little bit.
yeah, but I change it up every time. So this one has spelt, like I said, there's that French saison yeast, and then there's
Oh,
this
the
regular
ooh la la.
saison yeast, and then there's that crazy yeast from that guy at what's it called? Guy who trips acid. When
Phantom. Phantom.
F-A-N.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
He his stuff is
He just trips acid and
brews. Yeah,
Brews.
like his bottles all have ghosts on them. You've probably seen them.
I'm sure, probably.
like they're ghosts and dancing. And shit.
I mean, if you are trying to tell me how we're about to make a new beer, I'm not opposed.
I've used that yeast a couple times, but
That's killer, man.
I didn't do any acid before.
I am
Improvement is what I'm hearing.
I am legit excited to come down and see the brew house, though.
Yeah.
If you'll have
Yeah,
me.
it's
Yeah,
really
sure.
fun.
I'd love to check it out.
We should have the winery up and running too.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully.
You know what the
Yeah.
winery? I probably shouldn't say
No,
this.
no, no.
The
Where's the buzzer? Thank you. Where's that?
the requirements to have a winery are minimal. Let's
Yes.
just say it that
Okay.
way. And
I got you.
Yep.
almost laughable.
Yeah.
It's going to be very
when you come
entertaining.
on-
So I could have a winery.
Oh, you're about, yes, you're
Potentially.
about to.
You have a 6 foot by 6 foot area.
Chonder.
Did you see what we walked through?
Yeah, true. I'm redoing it, so I'll just make a
That's
winery
bigger than
spot.
mine. Yeah.
That's more space than we have. You're not here.
So basically, I'm showing you guys the my basement here.
Basically a competition right here.
I will draw up the plans for you. When I get it.
It's just a square. It's just a square.
$200 a year.
Just stand here and hold this.
Oh,
It's the commotion wine.
Oh gosh.
that's a good name, Commotion.
There you go.
Commotion wine. Commotion
suppose.
stout sounds. Yeah.
Commotion style.
I
sounds
see you got the old
fantastic.
granddad.
Yeah. I had that last week for
Little-
some.
little granddad in your mouth.
You know, it used to be
Is that the
harder.
bonded?
I don't. No, that was not the bonded.
I'm
so it's
assuming
not the
y'all are
good one.
talking bourbon right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know,
It's on the table.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
I mean, don't look at me. I'm just. I'm an observer.
Yeah. I'm
Darlene will come out if bourbon's involved, and we don't need her.
not. Darlene crazy.
Darlene's all questionable.
Darlene liable to pee in the floor.
On camera. Not even off camera.
She don't care. Drink that sulfur water from up in them hills.
Well, water for the win.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming in. Let's cut it and enjoy the rest of these beers and laugh for a few minutes if you guys are cool with hanging out.
Sure thing.
And give everybody the website, the brewery address, all that stuff.
Social medias.
Yeah,
Sure,
please.
You want me to go or you want to go?
Do you know it?
The address? I know our address.
All right, guys, we have no idea where these people are from.
Just come
I don't
find
think
us.
they're. I
We're
don't think they're
around.
associated with Big Lick
We're
at all.
just around. We're on the corner.
I've been
Down
saying
there.
it for years. So it's,
You go for it. Let's hear your spiel.
all right, we're on 409 Salem Avenue, Southwest, 24015. We're about 3 blocks up.
4016.
24016, yeah. 5 is my house.
Damn it, Brian.
Yep.
Say it
And,
again.
Trying to find the copper dealers.
We're about 3 blocks up from the city market. We're actually in a really cool corner now. We kind of started. Brewery opened up across the bridge.
Yep.
Twisted Track. Another brewery opened up right across the street from us. Golden Cactus.
And a new
Couple
brewery.
blocks up from them is a Few Old Goats, little 2-barrel brew house, kind of like we started out.
Cool.
And a new one, it just opened up, is called
Blind House.
Blind House Beer, and he does just saisons and
He
stuff
does
like
the
that.
open
So
fermentation.
so what you're saying is that it's really. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's
it's
awesome.
it's the brewery corner, to be
All
honest with
within-
you.
That's cool.
2
Yep.
blocks of each other. So
Oh yeah.
Nice. You could do a little.
yep. So
That scooter coming in hot.
yeah, lots going on all the time. Hopping part of town now.
Killer, man.
Oh,
what's
yeah.
the social medias?
At Big Lick Brewing Co.
Yep.
Yep.
BigLickBrewingCO.com.
So go check it out. Listen, guys, their brews are great. They are on point. The
100%.
atmosphere. I haven't been there, so I can't yelp it yet.
We're cool people. It's cool people.
So I can tell it's pretty cool. So again, thank you guys so much. I'd love to come check it out. Come see you guys. I need to just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
Bring-
gonna brew a beer. That's what we talked about.
That's true.
She'll watch her kids.
Oh,
She'll
yeah.
watch the kids.
Give me them kiddos all day.
You'll love my
Give
youngins are
'em.
wild, dude.
I'm here for. I'm a wildling, so I'm
Okay.
down.
They'll be climbing everywhere.
West Virginia.
Well, one of my kids.
I'll
will-
take them. I'll take them upstairs to our storage unit, then climb up top.
Awesome.
We have pinball machines. So.
Oh, we
Oh,
do.
Lord, yeah.
we did just get those in the pinball museum. They got us
Nice.
4 or 3 pinballs right now: Star Wars, Jurassic Park, and Mandela.
An old one from like the
Yeah,
50s.
like the
That's
classic.
cool,
They're really
man.
cool. They're fun
Killer.
to play.
So lots of stuff for the kids to do.
Yeah. So you heard it here. We might be brewing a beer there. We'll
Yeah.
talk about it. We'll figure it out. And you'll hear about it here first, for sure. Until next time, guys, thank you so much. I am Rob. Thank you guys to Big Lick, to Brian and
Thanks for having
Donovan.
us.
Until next time, see ya.